Not good, mate. Not good.
No.
Can you do anything about it, or?
It was because Beth had two ectopic pregnancies, so it was basically hoping for we took them to court because it ruptured and shit on Beth.
Right.
And she had a final tube out. She had to basically, she's now got no chance of having any more kids. We got told we had a case of suing them. We tried, and obviously today we got the news it didn't work. I think I was just clinging on to a bit of hope of it could work, and we could use that to pay, because we don't have a lot of money. Beth works part time at Santa Parks, and I can't work at the minute 'cause of my back.
Yeah.
And I think we was clinging on to that little hope of
Getting something back.
getting something back to maybe put towards IVF to be able to pay for it, because she's had a kid, I've had a kid. We don't get it through the NHS. We have to pay, and it's a fucking fair amount. It's about £6,000 when we looked into it, and it's not guaranteed. So it's like, just shit news, mate. And I can't adopt because of shit that went on with my ex. I'm not allowed to anymore because I got done for shit that I'm not proud of, but at the same time, I didn't really do it, but I got charged. If that makes sense, I don't want to go into it, but it's like hard to put into words. I didn't do no wrong, but I kind of did. At the same time, I'm not proud of what I did, but at the same time, she was a bit of a dick for fucking doing what she did, and so I can't adopt. That's ruled that out, and just IVF at £6,000. It's just like fucking. That's a lot of money that we can't afford for bits we need for ours. The kids we've got already, bits we want to do with ourselves as well. So it's just, I think I was just clinging on to something that probably wasn't going to happen, but it is what it is. Like I said, this is probably going to take my mind off it. This is my job tonight, so.
That's it, man. It's hard life. Hard work, mate.
It is, mate. Right, so a few things. When we get on, just load the track map. You can load the Speedo if you want.
I've got Iris Dash up as well, so...
Right, I've got my dash up as well. I'll get my dash up in a bit. So just load on the screen track map and Speedo if you want. You can load the split times because that comes up at bottom of my screen, not yours, unfortunately.
Right, do you do the switch the drivers?
No, you do all that. I do. Okay. I literally, you're in control of what we see.
Right, gotcha.
I do nothing. Time's it? 2 minutes past 8. Are we all in? Who are we missing? No Gary. Obviously, there's no emo guy. No. Who's not there? I can't think who's not there. No Gary, no emo guy. That's 2. There's 3 missing. Maze Gamer.
Oh, right.
I shall send them one more invite. Obviously, emo guy we know is not going to be on.
So you want me to load up the track map and
Speedo and splits. Speedo optional, not bothered if it's there or not.
Right. So I can use the splits on Iris Dash, can't I?
Yeah, you can still use your dash to see what's what on your side as well. Right. That's obviously not going to come up.
What they see? Do they see all that bottom stuff on?
No, so they see what I see, but what you that bottom stuff that you've got is basically we can't see that. What you've got there is basically for you to show us what you want us to see. So what camera angles, whether you want us to see the track map, the Speedo, or when it says splits, it's like the top 5 split times across the bottom in terms of the gap between them or the times they've done. So yeah, right. I'm just going to tell my little one to hush a second. When this screen loads into the garage, we're live.
Okay.
In fact, hang on. Floyd, quiet now. Floyd.
Kids, man. I was worried about that. I told my kids, no, you've got to be quiet tonight.
He knows every Wednesday and Thursday playing up.
Sounds like my missus.
Right, 2 secs. Oi! If I go quiet, let me know, because last week my mic kept unplugging.
Right, okay. No problem. I've got to warn you, we have been having issues with the internet, so...
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Are we live, yeah?
We'll be in a second.
Nice track map. And on board with Disco. Well, not on board, watching Disco now.
Yeah, we'll go live when he comes out the pit lane properly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for the Pro Series, back on the Thursday night for round 3 and 4, live here at the Watkins Glen Circuit in New York, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm alongside a new commentator for this season and here at Simplay Motorsport. He's done the ACC Fun event with Dan, but he's here with me tonight. It's the Team Pro Labs. Nicky, how are we?
I'm doing very well, mate. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Nice to have you in the commentary box.
I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a bit exciting. I know I've got you alongside me to shimmy me along, so yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yes, it's going to be a fascinating night, especially after last night where there was a lot of drama in terms of Project Cars being a bit of a, I don't want to swear on stream, but a bit naughty last night, not loading setups properly and making the car feel like it hadn't done all week in practice. But hey, I'm not bitter at all. We go into tonight, though, where we've got 13, hopefully 15 of the best drivers. We haven't got Emo Guy, so we hope that he's getting a speedy recovery and we'll be back soon to race once again. Obviously, he's had an operation that Dan mentioned last night. But Nicky, very tricky race round here in the early morning conditions. What are we going to expect tonight?
I think a lot of people are going to have to go for their tyre pressures on this one. I don't know about you, but I struggled on race 1 with tyre pressures. I found with the cold temperatures, they were hard to get up to the right heat first. It was a struggle at the first few laps, but towards the end they started dropping off. I don't know if you had the same feeling, but McLaren's very twitchy on the understeer and.
No, we was fine. We worked our tyre pressures, me and Smithy, all week to get them bang on, and then Project Cars, and people had said to me, because obviously I didn't race until now, people had said to me, oh, it's so different, you can test all you want, and then the minute you get onto a race night, it just feels different. And I went, nah, don't be silly, the game don't do that to you. Oh no, the game does do that to you. My setup was as rear-endy as anything last night, and I'd not altered a single thing. It
does. I think Ben Parker had the same issues last night. He had absolute blinding setup. He was really quick. Jumped in the session last night for the first race, and he was just getting so much oversteer, and he was struggling with it. Yeah, and we all say it. We have been saying it for a long time, and I'm glad you found it out last night.
Oh, mate, honestly, and you got involved in the incident last night up the hill on the first lap, which I apologise for because I absolutely stacked that one on my own. But that was just a case of the car, the rear end just came round. It's not done that all week. And then we get it. Didn't do it in the practice. Didn't do it in the qualifying. We get into race 1. Around she goes 2 corners in. It's like, all right, yeah, okay. This is how it's going to be, is it? So yeah, I apologise that you got caught up in that incident last night.
I didn't. Yeah, but it wasn't you that I got caught up with. It was like something happened. I thought you got caught up with it, but it was an absolute disaster in front of me, and I just caught out with that. It was cars bouncing in the wall. It was like a pinball machine going off at the first.
It was as if I dropped it. No, but everybody kind of went, oh crap, what do I do here? And then it was just like everybody seemed to just stop or pile into each other, it looked like when I watched it back. But hey-oh, that was last night. This is tonight. Conditions seem pretty similar, although rain is forecast for later in the race. So as we get in towards race 2, rain is forecast, but when will be the big question, and for how long will be the big question as well. We didn't get rain last night, Nicky. We've been able to avoid the rain and the other conditions of snow because that's been around Watkins Glen all week. So that could be a bit tricky for these guys going into the further we go into these 2 races.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see who gets in the pit and makes the right pit stop at the right time for the weather change. That is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these lap times come in because I've heard some pretty good rumours of who's been doing quick. And I mean, there's rumour flying around that Andy's in the 141s, which is quick. We're watching him now. He's a bit tricky, a bit slidey all over the place at the moment.
Oh.
Maybe he's getting caught out with this setup. Doesn't feel right from what I've been practicing in. So We'll see how he does.
We'll have to keep an eye on the BMWs. The
Slight
BMWs
lap.
looked quick last night, to be fair. Dean and Bryn looked all right last night, as Andy goes second at the moment, 0.3 off the pace. But Dean and Bryn didn't look too bad, and we know what Andy and Disco can do with the BMW in their hands. A lot better driver. No disrespect to Dean and Bryn, but they are a lot better driver and can cause a lot more havoc with the BMW at their hands. We saw that last week at the Red Bull Ring. And what we're going to see here as well is maybe Dan's McLaren this season have a real fight with these two BMWs.
I was quite impressed with the BMWs last night, and I was really impressed with Dean's pace last night. He was quick last night, but you find some of these guys are quick, but they're not consistent, and I think that's what a lot of drivers have got to find. They've got to find that consistency. They've got to find that flow. They can't do quali laps every lap. You got the likes of yourself, Ben Parkey and Laney in Pro-Am. You three are on like another level at the moment. Seems like quali laps every lap.
Yes.
But there is issues with that. It's not stable all the time.
That's the thing is people who do run quali setups and want to get quick over one lap, great. But especially myself, I've always tried to encourage Dean that, ignore the quali pace, ignore your potential lap time, because potential means nothing. That's something you can get, and then you're going to push too hard to get towards it, and that's when you're going to make mistakes. It says learn to be consistent. Red Bull Ring last week, I was running 29s, 30s every lap. And Dean went, I'm like 35s, 34s, 36s, 33s. And it's like, Dean, you're all over the place. Yeah. One lap you're good, 2 laps you're poor. One lap you're good, 2 laps you're poor. If them 2 laps you're poor, you've lost all that time. And it's something that a lot of Pro-Am drivers, I feel, need to learn. And this is the big thing for the likes of Kelly and Argent tonight. They've got to learn that the Pro's a different ball game. It's such a step up in the Pro. And as consistent as Kelly's been for 2 seasons, you know better than we both know as well as each other. Me commentating on him, you being his teammate. As much as Kelly's been Mr. Consistent, he's now got to be consistent, but find that pace at the same time. Yeah,
he's got to find that fast pace in that car. Kelly is a brilliant driver. Enjoyed 2 seasons with him and sorely missed, I've got to admit.
Yeah.
But he's got to find that pace, and I think he will get there. It's early doors. It's only race 2 in the season, so I think towards the end of the season, I know he's not looking to be in podium positions. It'd be nice to see him on the podium. We saw,
didn't we, with Liam and Joe in season 3. They had 1 season in the Pro. Liam got a podium in the Audi. Joe seemed to come good at the end of season 3 Pro Series. All right, due to certain circumstances, Joe had to come down to Pro-Am season 4. Liam wasn't able to be around as much with work, but you saw them, how they developed throughout season 3 from where they started to where they finished. Yeah. And you could see the progression. And we saw last year Rabbit Joe, obviously defending Pro-Am champ, taking a year sabbatical at the moment, or a season sabbatical, should I say. But you could tell he'd learnt a lot from season 2 to season 4. Just that 1 season in the Pro. This could really help Kelly and Argent this season get back or find an extra gear where even if they do come down, they could then be much more of a title challenger in the Pro-Am if they was to get relegated.
That's it, yeah. Definitely. Everyone's progressing. It seems like everybody's progressing a lot, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that. We want to see that consistency. We want to see that race etiquette. We want to see the clean racing. We don't want to see these some guys still pulling off these. I want to win the race on the first corner on lap 1. And
yeah,
I know you'll probably agree with this one, but
Mark, see, and that's how the Acura was last night. You just felt that you couldn't come into a corner as confident as you had done in testing. Does that make sense? And it just seemed to do what Mark did there, but last night. And I agree with your comment about first corner heroes on lap 1.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's like I say, I'm a big Max Verstappen fan, you know that, but you that's what he's like. He's going to dive in for that corner. He's going to go for that gap. He's the centre. If the gap's there, he's going to go for it. But you can't do that.
No, and this is the thing, isn't it? And whether it's F1 to World Endurance, which starts on Saturday, to Project Cars. I mean, we go to World Endurance Saturday, and this really is kind of to back up what you're saying. We're doing a 6-hour race.
Yeah.
You can't. There is no you're not winning or losing this race lap 1, turn 1.
No.
You've got 5 hours, 59 minutes and 30 seconds after you've got around turn 1 as Peaceful's just lost it coming into the final sector uphill.
Yeah.
But you've got a good 5 hours, 59 minutes left. You're not going to win it on Saturday at turn 1, lap 1. You're going to win it maybe turn 1, lap 100 and something as we're getting into the final 5 minutes, 4 minutes of the race. That's when you're going to win the race. You're not going to win the race with 6 hours to go on the timer. You're not going to win the race tonight with 16 laps on the board. We did F1, where was we? Bahrain last Sunday, wasn't we? And you're not going to win the race 50 odd laps, 57 laps. You're not going to win that race at turn 1 at the sharp hairpin right at Bahrain. And like you say, Max Verstappen does pull off them moves, but at times, I'm going to take last season out of the equation because I think last season we saw a different Max where he wanted to fight for that championship and fight elbows out and hard, aggressive racing. You go back to a season before when maybe Max knew if he was going to win that race, it wasn't done lap 1, turn 1, and that's what we've seen a lot of times, Again, taking last season out because there was times where both was a bit overly aggressive, Max more than none. That's my little dig. But you know what I mean, don't you? You're not going to, even in the British touring cars, a lot of people in here are British touring car fans, and that can be elbows out, wham bam, thank you ma'am, all race, all 13 laps of Donington Park, let's say. But you don't get them heroics turn 1, and there is still a lot of drivers out there on that grid that do need to realise this, not necessarily in the Pro, but in the Pro-Am.
Yes, definitely. There is a lot of questions to be answered in a lot of some of the races, and you know yourself, there's a lot of us who try to be clean. We try to be clean, try and keep it straight. We back out and things like that. If you've got a car upside, if you know you're not going to make that corner, just let them through. You know you've got another lap or 2 or 10 laps to fight back.
You see, I've never raced Ben Parkey until last night. Heard a lot about Ben Parkey, heard a lot about Laney. I didn't get close enough to Laney at Red Bull Ring to say I raced him. We was within a second, 8/10, I don't think that's close enough. Me and Ben Parkey were side by side for 2, maybe 3 corners last night.
Yeah.
I now know I can go toe-to-toe with Ben Parkey all season. I now have... Because you know when you come into a new league, and obviously you found this yourself racing on previous leagues that we know about, and then you came here, didn't know some of these drivers, into Pro-Am especially. The moment you start racing these guys, you can find out, like, you can comfortably say, oh, Dean's here, right, he might be quick in quali, but I know I've got the measure over him over the race because he'll make 1 or 2 many mistakes. Whereas, you look at someone like Rabbit Joe, oh, right, yeah, this guy's actually decent. And when you pressure him, he might make a mistake. So I might have to pressure him a bit more than normal. But Joe's going to be a harder fight, and you learn these things. Like I learned a bit last night, Ben Parkey. I know I can race him hard all season. I know I can race yourself hard. But then you do sort of pick up these characteristics of other drivers. Like we've said it before in the past, Peaceful in the Mercedes on a Thursday night has been terrible and will drop the car. You know that. Whereas you can go wheel to wheel with the likes of Dan, Andy, Gary 131, who's just literally joined the session as well, so we couldn't time that any better. If you know Sooty Apex and he's got a slither of chance up your inside, he's going to send one up the inside because that's who Sooty is. The more you drive with these guys, the more you pick up them characteristics. That's
it. I mean, I've learned that Welshie, I can go toe to toe with Welshie, and me and him have had some awesome battles. When I'm with Welshie, I know it's going to be a good battle. I know I'm going to enjoy it. There has been times where I've dropped it, he's dropped it, blah blah blah. That happens. That's racing. But I know I can go side by side with Welshie into a corner, and I know he's not going to take me out, and I'm not going to take him out. You know that if there's any contact made, it's not, on purpose, it's accidental. He may have lost the rear and tapped you as he's gone round, vice versa. You know that as, whoa, damn there, big snap over the first curb, first exit curb, and I don't think you're going to be quick. No, I don't think you're going to be quicker in reverse. While I've just seen, we've got 5.5 minutes left. Let's go through the current championship standings before we carry on chatting. Andy leads the way, 38 points. Don't forget, though, it's the first round of drop score points this week. So what we read out at the end of the night will not reflect what the tables will say. Obviously, the first round of drop scores, they will change every week. What we're reading out is live scores before the drop scores have come in, and obviously then before penalties, if there is any, are applied. So Andy, 38 points, 2 points clear of Unorthodox, the 2-time and current defending pro champion. Then we've got BT Targa, who sits third for Team Prolapse. Sooty Apex for Audio Sport Prolapse in P4. Disco with Disco Face is in P5 on 26 points. Peaceful Explosion and for Simplay Racing
is in P6 with Gary 131, the other two-time champ in P7. Exmort for the other Team Prolapse car is in 8th on 16 points, tied with Monkey Boy. Fury a couple of points behind them, with Maze Gamer sitting in 11th. Emo Guy is then P12. Obviously, he's not going to be here for a while after he's just had surgery. We hope you get better, Emo Guy, as well, and wish you back as soon as possible. Little Each sits P13 with KLF 14th. Argent 15th, tied on 5 points with Kelly. And D-Biggs missed last week. He is on no points in P16. The Constructors' Championship is Slingshot Motorsport lead the way, 21 points clear of Team Prolapse. Simplay Racing are 3 behind them. Shake and Bake Motorsport are on 36. Audio Sport Prolapse outdoing the two-time Constructors' Champions of Leach Motorsport. Sandbags Motorsport then on 22, and Forever Forward Racing, on 17. And Nick Kelly. Sorry, apologies, Nicky. There's a lot of people in that table after week 1 that kind of are in a position that shocks me. I didn't expect Sutty to be 4th at the end of week 1.
Oh, right, really?
I just think if he was in that Lamborghini, I'd have probably said yes. But being in that McLaren, new car, compared to the likes of Gary, and he's gone back to his Porsche, Disco in his BMW, we've seen Peaceful's pace in the off-season in that Ferrari. Sutty surprises me as P4 out of the week 1.
Sutty, I think, myself, is a good driver. I think he's clean. He's a great driver. I've had a few races with him, not in a full league, but he's good. But it's the McLarens. It's a hard card to take, really. You can either take to it or you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to admit, I was first when we was practicing with it. Always he just drops it. As we talked, McLaren is a good card, but you can either get with it or you can't. And I've got to admit, Red Bull, I struggled with it. Really did struggle. Last night, I seemed to hook up in it, but it was the same with the Renault, with me and Kelly and the Renault. We tested it and was like, yeah, this car's brilliant, this is amazing. First couple of races, this isn't working for us. And then we just seemed to find that happy medium.
That sweet spot, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to Donington and absolutely...
Oh, you guys tore it up. You especially with a first and a second, absolutely dominated.
That was just brilliant. That is one of my absolutely brilliant that race was. But after that, people started thinking, hold on, we're gonna have to start going. We noticed people started getting faster, so we had to up the pace. Yeah. The only thing I find with the McLaren, it lacks the out of the corner pace. It hasn't got that acceleration. It seems to bog down. Yep. Whereas the Cura, it seems so quick on acceleration. I mean, the pull away off the line, you guys, oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like another level again. But yeah, each car's got its different characteristics. And yeah, the McLaren's a bit of a, I don't know, it feels heavy to me. It feels like I'm slogging it around, but I'm going to get used to it, I think.
Yeah, another learning season. And obviously with a cracking teammate like Laney at your disposal to help you out there, I'm sure that it'll be no time before we see you back up there. Oh, Andy's just had a disconnection. Now we hope he can get back in. He will get back in. He's got qualifying to get in. And don't forget, we've got now an opportunity for... We're not doing the online championship, so he has got to get in before the 2-minute mark of qualifying, because if he's not in, he will miss race 1. Because it's an American circuit, we have to run it on a normal online lobby, meaning that he cannot just get in. Evening to PN Motorsport, Disco, DJ Phil, Sutty, Welshie Emo Guy, Nicky Davis in the chat. Peaceful Stepdad, Kieran Argent, Ben Parkey as well, saying, I enjoyed racing with you, Matt. Knew within a few corners you were safe to go toe-to-toe with. I was probably being extra cautious because of what I had seen in race 2 coming from the back. Nicky sounding like a natural, being all serious.
Yeah. I've put on my serious tone tonight. I was told to tone it down a little bit, but the prolapse might pop out in me through the night, but yeah. It's all good. I'm enjoying this. I see Maze has joined as well. I didn't notice Maze has jumped in.
No, that's Mazda.
Oh, is it Mazda? Oh, yeah.
Mazda's in. He's doing what he did last night. He's looking at track limits and keeping an eye on them for us as we go through the evening.
Good lad.
Just while there's a space on the grid to be free, at the moment, obviously, Emo Guy not being able to be here, he's keeping an eye on them track limits, and Andy's got himself back in. He won't get time to set a lap, but we know he's going to be quick around here. Peaceful Explosion sits in P2 at the moment. That one is an interesting one for me. Gary, only down in...
Well,
yeah, and this has been one of the biggest talking points, I think, is we saw Dan and Fury in that Ferrari Season 2. It didn't do a lot. Now we're looking at it here in Season 4... 5 even in Peaceful and Monkey Boy's hand, and Peaceful seems to be getting the best out of this Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised Gary's down there in the poles. Gary's normally quick, and is he? Well,
he's only just got on Anti, so maybe he's.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see his true pace and true colours in qualifying. Though, but there is only 13 runners tonight, or 14 runners, sorry, when Andy is able to get back in. He should be in for the qualifying session in just a moment. But going forward into this race, this first race of the evening marks a special moment for your old teammate, Nicky. It's his 50th appearance for old KLF.
Oh, wow.
And what a moment that is for himself. It marks a fine achievement for him on his 50th race start, provided he starts race 1. That is as well. He is on race start number 50. Dan tonight will go to race start 49, meaning that Saturday's World Endurance, which all goes towards the stats. It's not a championship just for fun. It's a serious championship, not like the 24 hours we've done in the past. It is a serious competitive championship that goes towards your stats for race wins, pole positions and race starts. So Dan will make his 100th appearance on Saturday at the 6 Hours of Silverstone. That's not a bad one to make your 100th appearance for, is it?
No, that's a good little result, isn't it? It's about time he retired, isn't it?
100 race starts in, 2 championships later, geared up, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting too old for it. Fernando Alonso, isn't
he? Yeah. Plus, give the others a chance, Dan. Look, you're off you're 6 tenths quicker. Give them a chance, boy.
Yeah, choose a slower car.
Well, he has said that if he wins this season, he will drive the Acura in Pro next year.
Right.
So I'm holding him to that as well. As an Acura fan, I am holding him to that one. And he will eat his words when he's driving that Acura next season. Let me tell you. 14 driver still in there. We are still waiting for Andy to hopefully get back into the session and hope he gets in.
Dan straight out.
Yeah, he's not messing around, is he? Is he here? He knows he's got to get out. He knows he's got to get on with it, as is BT Targa and Disco McDisco Face and now Peaceful Explosion. So 50th race start for Kelly. Tonight we go into Disco McDisco Face will make his 50th race start next week at the first round of Hockenheim. So a few drivers get into their milestones. BT Targa and Xmart, they're coming up to their 50th race start as well. So they're also approaching that milestone. And we've got Gary. He's going to be not far off the back of the 100 mark, as well as Andy's managed to get himself in. Great to see that from Andy, back in just in time for qualifying.
Yeah, it's good to see Andy in. I'm looking forward to this 141 that BT has seen him do. So
yeah, going to be interesting, isn't it, going forward into this qualifying session. Who's your tip for pole position then?
Honestly, it's a hard one to say. I think Dan's going to just pip in there. I really do. Yeah,
I'm going to give it to Andy because he seems one heck of a qualifier. And he said in an interview last week that he wished he could turn some of his 20th poles into race wins. So I'm going to tip Andy for pole. I think Andy has the edge over Dan in qualifying. I don't know what it is. But evening to Fury's granddad and Laney as well. Simplane Motorsport. Has Fury got a temp replacement for the races I'm out, or is he running on his own? He's running on his own, Emo Guy. We don't do fillers in the GT3s. We only allow them into F1 because we know F1 is a bit different. We just don't have the fillers to come in as well for Project Cars 2, whereas there's people who wanted to be fillers for F1. And Ben Parkey, Dan the postman, time to deliver. Well, let's go on a lap of BT Targa, Nicky, and I'll let you take us through it.
Yeah, I'm going to just jump on with the Team Prolats guy and see what he can pull out on this lap. I don't know if his tyre pressures are up right, but BT, he's always quick and he's always up there, so he can put in his lap time. So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes.
It surprised me that he chose the McLaren this year because I thought he was going to jump back into that Mercedes-Benz.
Well, between him and Mark, there was talk about the Porsche at first, and then there was, it was quite interesting because they sort of got on with it in the last season.
Came good, didn't it, towards the end as well in that Porsche of the season?
Yeah, they found a good setup for it. I did. I've got to admit, I've helped a lot of these guys with setups. They've all picked my setup and gone faster than me.
There we go then.
But yeah, it's good. So they're using my setup tonight, I think, on this. So I had a couple of tweaks on it. But yeah, straight away there was 3 seconds quicker than me. So it's going to be interesting to see what BT pulls out of this lap. To be honest.
It is as well. And for a 1 minute 44 lap, or 1 minute 42, 41, whatever these guys are doing, it seems a pretty long lap, but it doesn't feel that long. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like there's a lot of corners around here, and it's a lengthy track, but it doesn't feel like a 1 minute 40 a lap. You're coming back round and starting your second lap sooner than what you know, and he's got 3 corners left as BT Talgren. What has been a pretty flawless lap here on his opening flying lap, and Unorthodox has gone purple middle sector. I say flawless, just clip the wall there. Yeah. Talk about the commentator's curse. It's a real thing, guys. 25 people watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. We are on 181. The goal is to get to 200 by the end of this season. Oh, and hits the run there. That's really going to compromise him. And as he comes out, Dan with a benchmark of a 42.1. So Dan straight on the pace. Yeah. Oh, that's, close to track limits there. Peaceful as well. 6 tenths off the back. Not a bad bank lap already for the Ferrari and the McLaren.
No, lap times are starting to come in now, aren't they? So I want to see Andy. Where is Andy? There is Andy. This is one I'm looking for.
Andy went purple in sector 1 according to my dashboard on my phone, the telemetry I've got. Purple middle sector, purple first sector, green middle sector, as Peaceful has just gone purple first sector. So taking that one away from Andy. But Andy coming towards the back end of the lap. Oh, was that just a graze of the wall, a kiss of the barrier there?
I think he left a little paint there on the side of that wall there.
Yeah, they must have missed a bit, and Andy's filled it in for them as he comes into the final corner now. Will he kiss the wall on the outside this time? No, barely uses that curb. I found myself on that curb a lot more than I wanted to be last night, trying to push the Acura. Oh, wow, a 41.7.
Wow.
I said he does it in qualifying, and he's done it once again.
That is impressive from Andy, and like I say, he kissed the wall.
Yeah, and that was funny. On my screen there, Andy had half an Acura on his inside of him there. What can Dan do, though? It is Dan who went purple first sector now, and that's now been taken away from him by Gary 131. So Gary's gone quicker through the first sector. So we'll have to keep an eye on Gary's time. Currently down in P7. Dan, though, coming up towards the final corner. This left-hander is very, very tricky to get that right. There's a bit of a crest, isn't there, sort of mid-corner, and that's what can unsettle the car.
Yeah, and it pulls you into that wall. Yeah. No matter how you think, do I keep on the power? Do I let off? But you tend to keep on the power, and I find if you lift it, it sort of drags you over more. You've got to keep that power down. There's Dan then.
No improvement from him there on that lap. Where is Gary? Coming down the start line then. May's game has managed to get in, so we have got 15 drivers. Gary goes 2 tenths quicker. So say he went purple sector 1, didn't improve much throughout the rest of the lap and only moves up to P6. Oh, who's that? That's a Ferrari. Is that Peaceful or Monkey Boy? Peaceful's back in the pits. I think that might have been Monkey Boy then. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Huge snap, and round he went. I'm surprised he's not brought that back into the pits yet. So Little Each BT Targa X Mart still not got a lap in. And Monkey Boy waiting for the traffic to go. Maybe he's not got that bad a damage.
No, he probably end up going to the pit for that one. But it looks like he's managed to get out of that pretty clean. It doesn't look like there's any damage on the car, so...
Yeah, all good so far for Monkey Boy. Maybe he's got away with that. We'll have to keep our eyes if he pits throughout the lap. Ignore Mazda's name on the timing screens. He's here to watch the track limits of drivers tonight after Red Bull Ring last week, where every driver was warned about their track limits. Not an official warning, just kind of, come on lads, let's keep it within the 2 white lines, or 2 wheels on the curb, as the rules say. And Mays is now in, so we do have a full grid. Obviously, Barrimo guy who's out after he's had an operation. We do wish him a speedy recovery. Fury then, little Furby as the Prolapse boys like to call him. That's a line through the exit to turn 1, but he's currently 4th in his favoured Mercedes-Benz. He had a cracking season in the Pro last year. Can he do it again in that Mercedes?
I'll tell you what, Fury is a little legend. He's like our little squidgy toy in Team Prolapse. he is progressed so well.
Yeah.
The lad is amazing. He's got so much more potential. That's the thing with Fury.
He's came on leaps and bounds, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he joined, we joined him in Team Pro Lassie, which is our junior team to progress up to Prolapse. But he joined in that, and he was, admittedly, he was a bit scatty. He was all over the place and everything. We calmed him down, tidied him up a bit, and his lap times, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievably quick now. And
he's really sort of coming on to the driver that people, I think, expected Fury to turn into. Let's not forget, the guy's only 17 years of age as well. You know, we speak of young drivers. You've got Keegs, who races F1 on the Lucas Rothkamp. He's only 15. Got Goten Duffin on the F1, who's only 10. You know, so there's a lot of young lads here who are coming up and coming through the ranks, and it's exciting to see what. Yeah, it's exciting to see what the future holds for them drivers.
Yeah, because we can't do it forever. Somebody's got to. It's like we said to Fury, you're the future of Team Prolapse.
Yes, soon enough we'll be sat here just chatting about it, and they've got to carry on driving it, and then there'll be some young guns that want to take over from Fury.
Exactly. It's all going to progress. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to all this.
Little Each and Sutty, KLF as well, a bit off the pace at the moment. Fury then, kind of all over the place still at the minute. Dan 3/10 off the back of Andy, but only personal best sectors coming in. No real purple sectors or green sectors for personal best. The top three are all set white sectors, so that is no improvement for them. On my end, as we say, good evening to the lovely Laura in the chat, Fury's mum.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, just as we said, all them nice bin. Fury's, Tony's there.
Brilliant.
They're every week. They were there last night.
Team Fury Prolapse.
Nikki Davis is in the chat as well, and she said, "Good evening all, here to port you, son." Now that could be one of two people, because there's a story here. That could either be Dan, or it could be me, because she's adopted me apparently. So she's adopted me, and I'm her favourite son apparently. So go on, KLF, Daddy KLF, and brother Unorthodox. We'll see how you get on through the night. But evening to all the mums and all the dads in the chat, and all the granddads if you are one as well in the chat. Good evening to you all. Let's see what we can do. If you are interested in, if you're not busy Saturday from midday till 6 p.m, what else can you be doing? You could be sat at Simplay Motorsport with me on the microphone, watching the 6 hours of Silverstone LMP2 and GT multi-class, 8 in each. I think there's a couple of cars missing in GT at the moment. So if you do want to sign up for the multi-class, there's Kelly, very, very wide there and has bailed out of his last lap. Andy, though, is provisionally pole. Dan has got within a tenth and a half of Andy, but I don't think Dan has got enough in the locker. He's improved, but has he got enough? That's the biggest problem.
It's going to be tight because this is it. This is all he's got now, and so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting on the start of this race.
I think someone's just crossed on. Not quite sure who that is. Who's just gone through sector 2? I can't quite tell, but Dan's coming up to sector 2. It's BT Targa, so he's going to be the next man to finish.
Right.
And then it will be Dan, and then there's a car coming through sector 1, and I'll try to keep an eye on my phone to see who that is on the timing screen.
I was going to say, my RS Dash does not seem to be working.
They've gone through sector 1, and I don't know who that is because that's not came up with their sector time. Who's the other car coming through sector 1? They might be done, that's why it's not coming up. But here comes BT Targa then, towards the line. Currently down, he bailed. So he's bailed. Dan then is the man. Is the postman, as BT Targa called him. Can he deliver? Maze Gamer might be on a lap. He's not yet currently set a time. But Dan's coming out the final corner. He's coming down towards the start line now. Has Dan got that tenth and a half in him to take pole? No. Don't think he did there. I reckon that is a second pole for Andy. It is a second pole for Andy, and it is a second place for Unorthodox. Peaceful Explosion on the second row of the grid in P3, with BT Targa a solid qualifying once again in P4 for himself. Fury a cracking qualifying for the man in the Mercedes, P5 ahead of Disco McDisco Face down in 6th place, with Gary 131 P7. Argent then, a good qualifying for Argent. He will take that. P8 for him. Xmart down in P9. Not where he'd have probably wanted to be, but Xmart, I've noticed, isn't much of a qualifier. He does do his hard graft in the races. D Biggs back for Shake and Bake down in 10th place. It is a disappointing qualifying for him. Monkey Boy is 11th, with Sooty Apex 12th. Not the qualifying we see from him. KLF, his teammate, 13th. Bringing up the rear, Little Each, 14th place. That is a shock. And then Mace Gamer down in 15th place. Did not get a time in. We're all ready to go. Who is your money on for pole position?
Pole or for the win?
I tell you what, for the win.
For the win, I'm going to stick with Dan.
Yeah.
He just. I think Dan's more aggressive than Andy. I think he's going to go for it. Really do.
We've seen them have a lot of tit for tat over the seasons in terms of great close battles and great close driving between each other. Do you think Dan's got the edge then in this one?
I think he's more consistent, a little bit more consistent than Andy.
Right, there we go then. You heard it here first. So Dan for the win. If you're wondering why there's a car in the background dancing and flashing its lights and doing the oogie boogie, that is just Mazda. He's retired from the race. Like we say, he is keeping an eye on just track limits tonight. So that is why he's jigging around there. That, though, is the BMW M6's 20th pole position here at Simplay Motorsport, and it is 12 pole positions behind the Porsche now. And let's not forget, the Porsche has won 4 championships in the Pro, only has 32 pole positions. The most dominant car is the Mercedes AMG, but the Porsche could be on for its... the McLaren... I suppose the Porsche could be on for better this year with Gary in it, but you've also got Fiori in the Mercedes-Benz. If the BMW wins tonight, that'll be race win number 13 for the BMW. If the McLaren wins, that will be race win number 12. And the Acora's got 1. Which it had none before this season, so I am trying to get them stats of the Acora a bit better so that people can stop slating it. Sooty, come on everyone. Nicky Davis, Dan for racing tonight, but yes, you my son too, she says. Thank you, mummy. I'll hop in and out on Saturday, says PM Motorsport. Cheers, buddy, let's have it. Love this track, says Sooty. Fury's granddad, Fury's probably blushing now. Emo guy, I will happily join you for the Enduro comms, my dude, if you'll have me. Yep, sure, we can sort something out with that one. Good luck, everyone, says JR Sim Racing. How long will Andy's tyres last? And Del Gibson, evening all. Good luck to all the drivers tonight, especially the ex-CBM XRC crew. Not quite sure who that is, but we've got 3 lights. We are green here. It's go at Watkins Glen for round 3 of the season. And these two, Nicky, are already even Stevens. Down the hill we go. BT's jump peaceful in the background. And Andy into turn 1 has the lead. But will we see anything like we did with the Acora last night, where it loses it up the hill? It all can be won and lost up this hill. Dan, though, looking to make an early move up the hill into the little right-hand bend. Now the left-hand bend. There's still side-by-side drama in the background. And it is Gary who's been caught up in it as well. I think Peaceful Explosion was one of the cars, and Gary's got huge damage. I think Peaceful has been turned around still. Little Eats looks like he's got away with it. And yes, Peaceful Explosion is one of them cars. KLF as well on his 50th appearance. Oh, and Peaceful Explosion there. That, I can't even tell how damaged that is.
That looks like game over. Is he going to get that back? You can't see where it started. You can't see the damage.
He's got it going. And now that's going to mean that he's got to pit twice in this race, because for the Pro, the pit stops are different. You've got to pit between lap 3 and 11 tonight. So Mike may have to pit twice, but out front, Dan has got the job done on Andy, and BT Targa right in on the background with him.
Yeah, BT. Yeah, that's a good start for BT, especially in that McLaren, to get away on that line that good. That is well done for BT. He's all over Andy at the moment, so this is going to be interesting.
He is as well. Can BT Targa put that pressure on Andy and give Dan a bit of breathing space? Fury's not too far back from these 3 either.
No, Fury, I think, is going to play the game safe. Hopefully, he's going to play the game safe.
Yeah.
Just got to follow him through. Like we said earlier, there's plenty of laps to go. He's just got to stick with them. Stay calm.
It's pretty much a half an hour's race, isn't it? And this is going to be the big thing here of how his tyres will last. Like we said, my setup didn't seem to work properly last night in race 1, did in race 2. You said your tyre pressures dropped off at the end. So this is all going to play into the hands of these guys. Disco's already in the pits as well. He's got to pit again then at the end of lap 3, or between lap 3 and 11. So he can't make an early pit stop. He has got to pit again. JR Sim Racing, we had a great new year. Thanks, buddy. Hope you did yourself. Was not a peaceful explosion. Was not a peaceful explosion of body part. Poor car. Dan trolling in the McLaren. Can't see the car at all. No, we can't. We just see the reflection off the windscreen. His teammate Monkey Boy, though, is up to 6th. Gary, Disco, KLF in the pits, and these have all got to pit again. So this is a disaster for Dan, Disco, and for Gary, Disco, Kelly, and Mike. Peaceful Explosion already.
Did Kelly pick up damage from that? I didn't see he got involved in it, and must have done, unless he's dropped it himself. I'm not sure. I didn't see him get caught up in the mix of it, but no. Maybe he did.
Well, Peaceful's just got back to the pits. Oh, wow. There's not a lot left of that Ferrari, I'm not going to lie.
No, he's going to be in there for a long time.
Oh, look at that look. Project as if by magic, the pit crew, who have done nothing, the car's back together and it all looks brilliant. Kelly's just got away. Gary also, I think, has just gone as well. Yep, he has. He's just came out the pits. Argent here, though, P7 at this moment in time, just off the back of Monkey Boy. And BT now, I'm just looking at the time screen, has dropped off the back of Andy that little bit. So is Fury, as Andy and Dan still within a couple of tenths. But BT just dropping back a little here, as Dan did the fastest lap last time around. Obviously, you will do on the first lap. Second lap around, look at them in the 43s already. The top three, the top four, all in the 43. So good race pace. Got turned around going up the hill. 100 rear, 35 front, 35 rear suspension, says Mike Matthews in the chat. That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage. And he's going to be in there for a long time.
Yeah, and the double blow is he's got to pit again, as the pit window is now just opened. So Disco, Gary, KLF and Peaceful do have to pit again now. Lap 3's started. Everybody else only has to pit once, so it's kind of game over for race 1. You're kind of now having to treat this as a test session and go again race 2.
Yeah, I'm just looking at lap times there. Mart is he's doing the same laps as he's matching the top 3, top 4. So
yeah, so he's just off the back of D Biggs, isn't he, by a tenth on lap times, but he's quicker than the 3 cars in front. Did Mart just sort of, he stayed 9th, but Little E Charging have jumped him. I wonder if he had to sort of avoid a lot of the incidents that happened at turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's probably what. Yeah, I can see Mart closing down on Little Each in next couple of laps. I think
Little Each.
Mart's a very consistent driver.
Yeah, and seems to have a better race than a qualifying as well. I've noticed with X-Mart. He seems to not always qualify the best, but has a great racecraft behind him and can make his way through the field. Knows how to keep it consistent and on the track at all times. Sooty Apex here, who's not had a great start. He's kind of as he was. He's only ahead of the guys that got damage. So as he dropped it somewhere, does he have damage himself? We'll have to wait and see. But he's now plodding on the wheel tonight, I do believe Sooty is. So we'll see how Sooty can do in this one. 46.2, a little off the pace at the minute. But May's game last time round, a 50.9. So he's had
damage. Yeah.
Has he got lights on your screen? Because he hasn't on mine. And
no, he's got damage on the front.
Yeah, he's going to have to get into the pit then to get them lights fixed as soon as possible. There is Sooty in the background, and they're a bit further back than that. You did see the lights of Gary 131, but he is a long way away. And are we going to see any drivers into the pits for the first stops at the end of lap 3? You can pit now, and that is brake Maze.
That was close.
Just gets that one stopped. Maze and X-Mart then the first 2 in the pits.
And X-Mart has got damage. Maybe he did get caught up in the.
He nearly had a bit more damage because I did not think Maze was stopping that there.
No, I didn't. But look at these 3.
Yeah, absolutely flying. In fact, what's up to BT
yeah.
Targa? Because BT was 3rd. A 52.2 last lap would suggest that he's made a mistake somewhere, Nicky. And he's dropped down to P5, and he's got Monkey Boy only a couple of seconds behind him.
Yeah, so he must have made a mistake, because that is very unlike BT. And Monkey Boy is, 152 for his last lap.
X-Mart has sped in the pit lane somewhere because he's got himself a little penalty. The red notification on his position number means that he's done something. I wonder if he's caught his limiter as he's pulled out his box, but he has got a time penalty, and that is at least a minimum of 10 seconds here. Away he goes now, and Nicky Davis, Matt, the CBM XRC means Cornwall BMX Racing Club. Lol, blast from the past. Well, there we go then. Thanks, Del, for being in the chat. I presume that's to do with Dan and Kelly then from the BMX in Days, but Andy here, keeping the gap around 7/10 of a second, and he's kind of trading lap times with Dan at the minute. 2 tenths quicker on that last lap. So these two kind of going punch for punch at the moment.
Yeah, they're matching in pace. But Fury, he's not that far behind.
No.
I think he's just playing a safe game, Fury. He's just got to stick with them. And I think he could get up there.
Yeah, going to toe with them, isn't they? JR Sim Racing, is there a Lambo out there? There's no Lambo on the grid this season in the Pro. There is in the Pro-Am. Welsh and Stealth Slough as Little Each comes into the pits at the end of lap 4. And Andy just seemed to got a better bus-stop chicane than Dan there, because he closed the gap a little bit, I noticed, through that part.
He is closing in. This is going to be a little bit wide there. But is this going to be a pit stop thing? Is he going to wait for Dan to pit?
Yeah, sort of bluff him and see who goes what first, who calls what for, after
Yeah.
I wonder what this case is going to be for Andy and Dan then, as Peaceful then has completed his pit stop, so will not be disqualified from this race. And he just had to do a pretty much a splash and dash really for Peaceful. But look, isn't that Ferrari nice when it's all in one tact and all taped up together?
Yeah. Lap 4 apparently. Mays is
He's a lap down, is Peaceful to the others. Where's Mays?
Yeah, but look at his
13.
car.
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it, when it's all intact? Mays down in 13th place. Gary, Kelly, Disco still to pit then. Disco's got himself ahead of Little Each, who has pitted as well. So the only drivers to pit on accurate times at the minute is Peaceful Explosion, Mays Gamer, X-Mart, and Little Each then, who have all pitted within the pit window, the mandatory window. And I'm so glad we don't have this in the Pro-Am, because you'd be so annoyed, wouldn't you, if lap 1 you had kind of a Peaceful explosion incident and then it all goes wrong. Andy, though, has pulled the early trigger and has gone into the pits at the end of the 5th lap. Now then, how's his stop going to be? Because Dan, what's he going to do? Is he going to react and go at the end of this lap? Yeah, very good stop from the BMW crew there. But is Dan going to pit at the end of this lap? Or what's the situation going to be? Andy is in some horrific traffic here.
Yeah, this is not going to do him a lot of favours at all.
No, and it'd be all right if he was around guys, and no disrespect, Argent, running at the sharp end of the grid, but Argent, lapping in the 45s, is some 2 seconds slower than, I say that, Monkey Boy's 45s as well, but that's some 2 seconds slower than what Andy was doing, and Andy will be hoping to clear this pack sooner rather than later. Sooty Apex is into the pits.
Yeah, so he seems to be just cruising around at the moment. I'm waiting for him to pull something out of the bag. Disco's pulling in some nice lap times.
Yeah, he's got a pit again though, hasn't he, Disco? But in the 43s, matching the leaders and Fury as well. So Disco's clearly got the pace, but he didn't have the look coming up the hill. I suppose that's how it went for you last night though as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I find if you stick with it, just
yeah,
cruising, you do make them positions back.
100%. I was down dead last after my pit stop, and I finished P8 at the end of race 1. So, you know, positions to be gained all the way through the night. Peaceful, who's a lap down, could easily have retired, scored no points and gone, I'll do race 2. But he's gone to the end because we're trying to encourage drivers this year. No points for retirement, even at 3/4 distance. Dan then comes into the pit. So this is the crucial one. Is Dan going to jump Andy, or has Andy done enough? 2 corners Andy's got left. Keep your eyes on the little white dot on the track map that is stationary on the red line of Dan. It's away now, so it is moving. Dan has been overtaken by his teammate and BT Targa. Dan coming down towards the bottom end of the pit lane. Andy round the final corner. Dan comes off his limiter now, and Andy is nowhere to be seen. So that gap has extended just ever so slightly then. Dan having a better in-lap than Andy had on his out-lap.
Did he get caught in that traffic? I don't think he did really, because Argent seemed to pit in front of Andy. So, Dan.
What is it? 2.9. So Dan's gained a good second and a half, nearly 2 seconds over Andy during that pit stop there. So good in lap from Dan. He's now got to make sure his tyres get up to temperature quick enough here, while Andy is going to be hunting him down and wondering how Dan has gapped him that much. But Dan's now got a bit of traffic in front of him. The top 4 haven't pitted yet and have got to come in at some point within the next couple of laps.
Hopefully Monkey Boy will pit now. So Dan's got that clear wave past him, and I think BT, D-Biggs and Fury will be coming in pretty soon.
Little Each back in the pits. He's already pitted, so he's not one of the guys who's had to pit twice. So that's a strange one. Yeah, big front damage here on the Porsche. You see the front left squished in.
How's Gary doing? Gary's pulling in some good laps as well.
Yeah, he got a pit again though. Him, Disco and Kelly's still got to pit again.
X-Mart, Team Pro Labs, he's putting in a good pace. He's keeping clean.
Yep. Looking all right, and it should clear Gary as well. Should be able to get him 10 seconds clear of Gary when Gary pits once more. Yeah. But BT and Fury now have come into the pit lane here. So the 2 leaders now come in, and D-Big stays out. Monkey Boy as well comes in. Now that really helps out the likes of Dan and Andy with clearing the whole traffic. Fury's had a good stop. I think he's on his way out, but has been overtaken by Dan and by Andy. What's happened to D-Biggs? Oh, D-Biggs came into the pits as well.
Yeah, they all pitted I think they all pitted at the same time. So this is going to be interesting between D-Biggs and BT. BT.
Monkey Boys. Yeah, Monkey Boys a lot closer to BT Targa. Yeah. He was quite a fair way behind BT. He's jumped D Biggs. Disco's back in for his stop. So that's Disco done. But Monkey Boy there has had a cracking stop and he's right on the back of P4 here in that Ferrari. So Disco in, Gary. Who's left to pit? Kelly, Gary, and that's your lot. Kelly and Gary still then the only 2 cars left to pit in this race. And Monkey Boy there really has had a cracking pit stop from the Ferrari crew.
That Ferrari is quick.
Yeah.
I mean, me and BT, we jumped in with Peaceful before the season started, and we all 3 of us were testing different cars and everything. And I jumped in the Ferrari. Peaceful was like, I'm going to give the Ferrari a go. And the pace he had was unbelievable.
It's as if he's just jumped in it and he's straight on the pace as well. And I like peaceful setups. I'm a guy who enjoys peaceful setups, but he was straight on the money in that thing, in the Ferrari, when we seen him in testing.
I think he would have been literally up in the top 5 easy in this race. It's just so unlucky at the beginning of this race.
Well, he can qualify for race 2. Does that give him the shout of a race win? Maybe stop putting it on pole and pulling away. Who knows?
Ferrari's got the pace.
Yeah. 15 drivers started this race, which means the top 7 cannot qualify for race 2. We're just getting towards the halfway mark of the race. Kelly and Gary left to pit. Peaceful gaining on the back of one of the McLarens. I think that's D Biggs. I could be wrong. Yes, it is. It's Biggs.
Yeah.
Who's dropped behind Argent as well. So he has had a dismal pit stop there.
Is D Biggs struggling with that McLaren?
Well, this is it. We'll find out as the season goes on. Obviously, Dan and Biggs changing from their winning Porsche to the McLaren, as Gary and Little each did, where they won 2 seasons in the Porsche and then went to the Renault. Biggs and Dan going to the McLaren. Dan making that McLaren sing and dance, whereas Biggs struggling at the moment. Andy, some 3/10 quicker than Dan on that last lap. Keeps the gap around 3 seconds, though. Not enough to close it at the minute, but hey, it's, second place is still valuable points for Andy. It's too early to be sitting here saying about the championship. We're on 3 of 24 as Sutty crosses the line here. P9. Where's he? 4 seconds off the back of Disco.
I'm interested because I'm finding that you get one driver in each team seems to settle in with that car a lot better than the other driver. Same with me and Laney. Laney is just unreal in the McLaren.
Yeah.
It's the same setup we're using, and I just can't find those 2 seconds that he's finding.
Yeah.
That's when it comes into driver skill. And it's the same with BT and Xmart. BT is in the top 4, and Xmart's
P11 and doesn't seem to be on the money with the McLaren. And yeah, you're right. You look at Dan leads, D Biggs is 7th.
Yeah.
Sutty to Kelly, 9th to 12th, not as big a gap, but you're right, one driver seems to be on the money in it. The other one, look at Sutty last week running just off the podium, race 1 and 2, but Kelly down by the rear end of the pack.
It is a weird one. It's the same with Andy and Disco. You got Disco down in 8th, and Andy
had to pit twice, though, hasn't he? Disco got caught up at the first lap, so that's probably hampered his race, but he's only some 10 seconds off the back of Biggs with half this race left to go, Nicky. That's doable.
Yeah, it is doable, yeah. If D Biggs keep it planted, I think he'll be alright, though. I can't see Disco catching him, to be honest.
No, neither can I. Dan knocking in a 43.2 last lap to Andy's 43.7. Dan's just extended his gap a couple of tenths. And these two now, Disco's in the 43s as well, but they're the only 2 guys really in them 43s at the minute. And you said, Nicky, earlier on that the tyre temps, just the pressure seemed to just go away at the end of this race. Well, clearly the BMWs and Dan have got them bang on, because their time's still looking very, very nice and neat and tidy. Gary as well in the 43s, whereas others just starting. There's more 45s appearing on the screen each lap.
Yeah, the high 140s are starting to appear now. Even, straight away from the beginning of the race. But it seems to be Dan and Andy seem to be on another level. They're still putting in their 143s, but the time is dropping off, as you said. Fury up onto 144s. All Fury's got to do now really is just...
Was that somebody round? Was that a back marker round in the background? I'm not quite sure who it is. It was Little Each.
It was Little Leach.
It was Little Leach, who's now being caught by BT Tiger and Monkey Boy, I assume, but struggling. Obviously had the birth of his little boy Tommy, and hasn't really been able to test as much as he'd normally have tested, obviously with fatherly duties at the back end of last season. But that putting a dampener on his pace, and 17 seconds now to Peaceful. If Little Leach is struggling in that push, Peaceful might just get an extra place or two here.
I think that's what Peaceful needs. He needs to get past Little Leach here, I think pride more than anything from what happens.
Yep, I agree with you there. Look at the front runners again, both running in the 43s. Disco as well, still in the 43s. Peaceful in the 44s. Andy, though, not really able to close that gap to Dan in any sense yet. Still 3.4 seconds the gap. And Dan just doing enough to keep Andy at bay and maybe look for his first win of the season here.
The only thing that can happen now is if Dan makes a mistake himself.
And there's a few curbs around here that will do that for you, if you will. Gary's in the pits at the end of lap 11, so we should see Kelly in as well. If Kelly doesn't pit, well, then that'll be a penalty his way. And he is in. So Kelly and Gary both in then. And that has kind of ruined their race here.
But who's going to come out first? This is what I'm interested to see.
This is the interesting one. Gary nearly stopped in Kelly's box. Maze Game has got past them both. Can Little Leach get past them both? Is Kelly away? No, just into his box. Is this a long old stop for these two?
Yeah, this is.
Kelly's gone.
Kelly's out.
Kelly's got the jump on Gary 131 here. The two-time champ having to wait. And Kelly's away. Gary's still being held.
Wow, I bet
I wonder if he's got damage. Oh, there was someone wide at the exit of turn 1 there as we just jumped on board Kelly. But Gary still being held. Oh, Maze, come on. That was a bit of track limits there across the bus stop chicane. But yeah, at the minute, he's out the pits now, but has lost a lot of time to KLF.
He's not going to get that back now.
No. Going to need Kelly to drop it somewhere.
Damage. I want to see Maze now because he's a bit all over the place at the moment. Is he struggling with that car?
That was what Kieran was saying last week. Is that he's struggling with the Mercedes? I don't think the Mercedes is going to do much of shit. Doesn't seem to react right in the cooler temperatures. Dan has dipped into the 42s, and Andy's not far off the 42s. So the fact that these guys, 42.8 and a 43.1, they are still pushing it. Dan's extended his gap. Andy puts in a 43.1 and must think, yeah, I'm catching him here. And then looks up at the screen and realises he's dropped another second and a half and goes, no, I'm not. Can sometimes be disheartening, can't it, when you pump in an absolute gem of a lap and then realise that you've still not gained anything out of it. Peaceful might gain an extra place here. I've just noticed he's 2-3 seconds off the back of Little Leach. And in fact, the next car in front of him is still D Biggs that's a lap in front. And the next car in front of D Biggs is Little Leach for position. So can Peaceful, 3.7 seconds with a couple of laps to go, get Little Leach in place here? The Leach Motorsport boys, 13th and 14th. Two-time Constructors winners. Whoa.
They seem to be struggling in their Porsches this season. What is going on with them two?
They've not got back up to speed, have they, as quick as they'd have wanted to in that Porsche?
No, not at all. And I swear I just see a yellow Ferrari just go, what was that? No. Perhaps I'll see something else. I thought I see someone spinning in the background.
Either way, we've got here Andy down in the 44s, and Dan did back-to-back 42s last lap. So Dan is on it at this moment in time.
Dan is absolutely flying with that Fisher-Price wheel he's got.
Why is it a Fisher-Price wheel? I have the same wheel.
It's a little thing between me and Mark. We joke about it.
Fair enough then.
Because they sound clunky.
Right, yes. I get that.
I mean, if you got to jump in with Laney one time, but you hear it sounds like he's making a wardrobe or something. It's like soaring and banging and clunking. And
Brilliant. Dan then here, 3/10 down on his best lap, but I mean, I don't think he needs to worry because that'll be a low 43. If that, he's got 5.5 seconds to Andy as that BMW just started to lose its tyres and it's just started to drop off for him there. Then we'll have to wait and see. But lap 13 of 16, he's got 8 seconds to Fury, so maybe bring the car home for P2 is his plan. That's a car very, very wide in the background. And Peaceful now. In fact, X-Mart's got Sutty, so has Sutty made a mistake? Because X-Mart's got past Sutty. Oh, X-Mart made a mistake as well. There's a flash of the lights there.
Yeah.
Oh, Sooty, he's got no rear wing. So was that a flash? Have these two made contact?
He does not seem happy, does he?
Well, that was either a flash to carry on your way or a flash of an unhappy nature. Yeah. Mace Gamer gets past Sooty Apex, and that's P10 for him. It looks like he's going to get past Xmart as well. Yes, he does. So P9 for Mace Gamer here. And when we thought it was Kelly and Gary had to pit again, well, they could be in for another 2 places. Peaceful has just passed Little Leech. In fact, Little Leech is round in the background, that's why. But Peaceful here might get an extra 2 places, depending on how long Sooty and Xmart are going to be in the pits for. But wow, what a turn up for the Bucks late on in this race.
They must have had it coming together because...
Yeah, Mart's got some front damage, hasn't he? He's got one headlight out and the front left looks a bit... Yeah, look at that. Bodywork dragging all over the floor. And Sooty's got no rear wing. Something's happened somewhere.
Yeah, Mart's not going very fast either. So, yeah, something's happened between them two. That's not good at all.
No, we'll have to find out what did happen between them two then as we go into the next race. But BT Targa here, kind of on his own in P4, 8 seconds behind Fury, 9 seconds up the road from Monkey Boy. He's kind of just, racing for nothing at the minute. Argent having a great race in P6.
Yeah, Argent's actually doing quite well in the Pro this season. He's normally one to... I don't want to diss him, but he used to spin a lot. On the tarmac, Argent. Yeah, he did, and he had them problems last week of spinning a lot last week, but 2 seconds off of Monkey Boy, 1.5 headed the current Constructors Champion D Biggs. He's had a few, if he gets Monkey Boy, that's a P5. That's a few more points. He doesn't have to qualify, even if Biggs passes him at this rate. But Xmart and Sooty are in then. Dance on lap 15. Oh, that is Monkey Boy! No.
So when Argent was a couple of seconds behind him, Monkey Boy's round. Disco might get Monkey Boy, and Monkey Boy might be qualifying in the second race. Kelly and Gary have both passed Sooty and Xmart. Sooty looks like he's on his way before Xmart is up. No, he's not. It's just because his pit box is a bit further down than Xmart's. Can Peaceful get these two? Where's Peaceful Explosion? He's had him exiting the final corner.
Yes,
Peaceful's going to gain another 2 places. So when he thought, and this is why you stick at it, Nicky, when you think all hope is lost, Peaceful's going to come out there and possibly walk away with a P12.
That's it. You got to stick with it. You can't just quit. You get people quit. I mean, I don't know what happened to DJ Phil last night, but he just
parked at the exit of turn 1. Yeah, saw that. Sooty in the chat. My fault, Xmart. Full blame. Sorry, bud. So they did make contact, and Sooty taking full blame for that one then. But we're on lap 15. Stan will be starting the last lap any moment now, but Peaceful's up to 12. Disco's now got past Monkey Boy. Maze he's a bit too far, just some 29 seconds behind Monkey Boy, so I don't think he's going to get him there.
No, Maze is out on his own as well.
Yeah.
It seemed to, some of the drivers seem to be a bit spaced out. How's Argent doing? Argent's... Ooh.
Yeah, still got Biggs at a second, hasn't he? But not...
Yeah.
What's the lap times last time round? Biggs was some 2.2 seconds quicker, so can Biggs get on the back of him with 1 lap to go and really push for a P5 in this race now? Good result for Argent. I mean, I bet Argent would take the P6 as well, to be fair. Disco, he's some 5 seconds off the back of Biggs, so some 6 seconds off of Argent. It's going to take Argent to drop it for Disco to catch.
Fury's just cruising around.
Just kind of sat there, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's done well. He's done well to hold that position.
Dan has done a 43 dead at this stage of the race.
He's just like, has he got a rocket up his ass?
He seems to up his game every single season, doesn't he, Dan? He seems to make sure that if these guys want to take his championship, you've got to do it the hard way, because Dan, change your car, people thought, was this going to be Dan's season where he's not going to be on it like Gary was? And Dan is just on another level at the moment.
And he's out of his comfort zone. He's out of that Porsche.
Yep. And many people thought that's all Dan could drive. I think this is a season for him as well that, I can drive other stuff bar the Porsche.
Yeah, and showing a true champion in it, really.
Yeah.
And then he goes wide.
Yeah, well done, Dan. Cheers for demonstrating that one.
Cheers for ruining it.
Yeah. But he's going to come round now then. He's on his final lap of this race. He's got 2 more corners to go. And Dan, he got past Andy. He did the hard work early on in this race. We said the race wasn't won on lap 1, and Dan, it took him lap 1 to get past Andy, and he couldn't let the work go to rest there because he had to fight Andy all the way until the pit stops, and that's where it was wrong. But Dan's going to take his first race win of the season. What a job for him. Andy, though, do not discredit his race. He's going to come across for a P2. Good points for him. Fury, what a man at the minute. Who's that? Fury's just let him through. That's the Porsche of, I couldn't tell if it was red. It was Red Wing Mirror. So that is the Porsche of Gary 131, who's going to finish a lap down in P11. But Fury is going to flash the lights. He's going to take a great podium for P3. We'll speak to him in just a moment. BT Targa is then going to cross the line, not too far behind him in the end for P4. Good result for BT Targa. Argent, is he going to hang on for this P5? Biggs is right up his rear end. No mistakes at the final corner, Kieran. That Merc should outdrag the Mercedes to the line. It's going to be a P5 for Argent. Biggs is going to start his season off with a P6. Good result for him in the end. Disco McDisco face. There's no headlights on that yellow BMW, but yeah, he's had an off somewhere, but not as big as Monkey Boys. He's going to come across for a P10, a P7. Good recovery drive. He won't have to qualify for race 2. So good recovery from him. Monkey Boy, though, will have to qualify for race 2 down in P8. And I tell you what, Mays was 28 seconds behind with 2 laps to go. He's half that deficit and has got it down to 12 seconds. But Monkey Boy, P8. Sutty got Xmart in the end because of Xmart's penalty, so Xmart will finish 14th. Sutty will finish down in 13th place. We know Kelly as well has finished in P10, so a top 10 for KLF. Mays Gamer, though, is going to cross the line for that P9. Peaceful gets a P12 in that one as well. The fastest lap of the race, Nicky, the only man in the 42s with a 42.8 unorthodox. Not the clean sweep of pole, fastest lap on race win, but what a heck of a start to race 1.
That was a good race. I enjoyed that. I was just a bit unlucky with Peaceful though. He didn't come out of it, but what a pullback towards the end. That is just Xmart and Sutty coming together has just made that space up for him.
Yeah, really has as well. Nicky Davis in the chat. Nice and easy, Dan. Bring it home. Go on, Dan. Had 6% damage since lap 5, says Andy. So maybe that's why Dan got the jump over Andy. I'll take that P5, says Argent. Andy, I got 3.2 seconds stop, but Dan was quicker. Well done, Dan. And then obviously me just saying that the top 7 can't qualify. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments' time with the second race and second qualifying of the evening and driver interviews as well. So make sure you do not go anywhere.
A wheel fell.
Yeah.
That was cool, man.
Yeah, good stuff that from them. So that to there. This becomes this. You're going to like race 2's weather. To that. Yeah. Practice goes. Qualifying is going to be a case of that, and then at the very here, fat now. That, and then that. In fact, yeah, we'll do that actually, so that limits the rain a little bit. That time needs to be 7. Race time needs to be 8. Right, do you just want to get Dan, Andy, and Fury in for invite them into the party? I'm just going to pop to the toilet.
Okay.
Emily sent me an essay.
Oh, is that you were on 10 minutes? No. I didn't know if it was that.
No, Master's obviously watching the story.
I didn't know if it was that girl.
Hello, Andy.
Alright, Nicky.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm
Yeah, good race, man.
Cheers. Just didn't have the pace of Dan.
Oh man, you were both on it though. It was just wicked. It was good to watch.
Damage. I had 6% damage from that point, just after I pitted as well, which is a massive pain in the arse.
No way. You might need to turn your mic up, Andy. I can just about hear you.
Hold on one sec.
Daniel-san.
Nicky-san. It's been like that forever. You better now.
That's better, yeah.
This guy didn't say anything. He didn't say to me, "Oh, you sound really quiet" or anything.
Oh, didn't he? Ah.
Unlucky, Mandy. I saw you there the whole time, and I just couldn't give up one lap. And knew if I yielded for one lap, you would have been on me, because that final sector, you were monstrous, man.
No, you were really, really quick there. There's nothing I could do about you. I mean, the pit stop kind of helped, but I had a little bit of damage. Oh shit, it's a wet start. Fuck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's why I'm a little bit happier now I'm in the McLaren.
Oh no.
Where's little Furby? Where ain't he coming in?
Once again, qualifying is going to be down to the fucking wire between me and you. You know the fucking annoying thing? By the end of Sector 2, which I figured out I was quicker than you, by the end of Sector 2, I was up by 2/10 on my last lap. I was up by 2/10. I would have put it on pole. And then I fucking lost it in the final sector.
Yeah, I was looking at your lap. I was watching you. Was it the tyre barrier?
Yeah, just scraped it ever so slightly. And
I was scraping it every lap, and I was just getting away with it every time. Just.
In this, it just dropped it down straight away. Yeah, it just...
I tagged it a couple of times in the race. I got 3% damage on lap 3 and elected not to repair it because I just didn't have time to play with the buttons. It was like in the middle of the track, and I had no opportunities to select it, so I just came into the pits, didn't get it repaired, and then clipped the barrier in the same place again a couple of laps later, and it went up to 6.
Yeah,
so
I got
losing a bit.
I got 1 front damage because someone's taken out the fucking sign at the end of Sector 2. Of course, I get there, and I twat it out of the way.
Yeah, you're right, you do rely on that a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating.
That's a nasty turn if you get it wrong. I mean, I was taking it in 3rd gear in qualifying, and that's why I had quite a bit of pace in the final sector, was because I was taking all of those corners. The first 2 in the final sector, I was taking in 3rd, and then the last 2, I was taking it in 4th. I was just going balls deep through there.
Hello, Matt.
Dan.
You alright, mate?
Yes.
I'll be fine.
You know where I am, don't you?
Yeah, mate. No.
Alright.
I'll chat with you in a bit if that's alright. I'll probably ring you or something in a bit.
Yeah, mate, you're more than welcome to, anytime.
I was just out at time, that's why I didn't answer. I didn't really want to talk to anyone, so...
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad to see Laura on the podium.
Matt was not Chinese. Again.
Fury, hey. I heard the conversation with you and Dan, and I heard you ain't got a tent. And then I heard Kelly say, Matt's got a mansion of a tent, so I've messaged your mum saying that there is a spare bedroom if...
And you know what? Before you sent that message, I said to my mum, I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if Matt says there's a spare room in our tent for you.
I've got a spare room for you.
2 seconds later, what comes through on her Apple Watch and what she shows me? Got a spare room in our tent if you want it, Laura.
Yeah, baby.
If I was you, Fury, I would take it up.
You can have the room to yourself. Laura can come and spoon with me and Beth.
The worst part is Beth actually started off defending me, and then now she's joining in.
It was Beth that told me to just say that.
No, it was not.
Straight up.
Beth! Where are you?
Oh, dear. Dan's taking a dog in to get her warmed up for me, and then I'm going to finish her off in the tent.
Hell, you killed him. I'll take all but 30 seconds, Matt.
What, both on them?
Yeah, you and Beth on her.
No, I meant you and then me.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, though, boys. Well done, Andy.
Cheers.
Poor Andy's just sat here listening to this.
I just feel it for you, to be honest. I just don't want to get involved. I feel sorry for you.
Andy, you can't give that to him because he started this shit all by himself by calling his mum a fucking
He called
milf,
his mum a
so-
MILF.
Oh yeah, no. To be fair, no, I do remember that. That was embarrassing. No, I can't defend that. No.
Yeah, it's almost as embarrassing as admitting you're gay live on someone's YouTube channel, eh, Andy?
I didn't. I never said I'm actually not.
What did you say? What was it on Champ's
I
thing?
admitted that I made out with a bloke before.
Ah, right, okay.
I clipped that.
Okay, right.
When I was pissed up at a party, I wasn't actually. I don't think that counts as being gay, personally.
I thought it was you'd admitted you was gay or you'd done something gay.
See, that was
Yeah.
the whole propaganda behind it because
Right.
Champ made a video saying Andy's gay? Question mark.
Right.
Question mark.
Okay, that's where I've got that from. Then.
That's very prolapse.
Nikki, were you there at that party?
It was me.
The last person you want kissing you is fucking Nikki. Trust me.
You were
Some of the shit that he sent out.
I don't know. I was very, very drunk. Could have been.
wasn't.
Nikki took advantage of you.
Was I good, Nikki? Yeah, you've got to answer that question because you can remember it.
It was brilliant.
Laura's fantastic. Wait,
Not as good as Andy.
Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
After Donny, I don't mind if you call me Daddy. It's fine.
Fury. Fury, don't worry, man. I got your back.
Yeah, he's all.
No, because you
can call him Daddy as well.
Daddy Dan Davis.
No.
It's
Listen to
Daddy
me.
Duffin and Daddy Dan Davis. How was that any better?
Yeah, baby.
I was actually going to be on your side here. I was going to let Matt deal with your mother himself. I was going to take you to the pub and get you completely wankered.
Yeah, like a good little
I'd rather do that to with myself, thanks.
some father-son bonding time while your other father's pounding one into your mother.
We're asking if we can go to Donny now. Jesus Christ.
Don't you worry, the interview will not be like this. I'm getting it out now.
I know, we better
That's
not
what
let the
you're
audio
back-
again, Matt. If you
No,
left
the audio's muted. I've made sure the audio is muted this time.
And the best part was, last time he done this on Twitch, my granddad was watching, and then he...
Oh yeah, shit! I felt so embarrassed because Tony was watching.
Now, where's Matt's private stream? Let me just type in Matthew.
Oh god, I was sat there going about I'm gonna plough one into Laura and stuff, and then Tony commented, and I was like, oh shit, that's his daughter. On my Twitch. I was on my Twitch. I was on my Twitch. I think I was racing. F1.
That's bad coming from me, and I don't have a filter.
I think it was Melbourne F1. And Tony was like, yeah, Matt, I'm here. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, Tony.
He got really quiet after that.
Apologies, Tony.
You're on mute, you penis. You can't hear you now.
No, that's what I was saying on the night. I mean,
Oh, I thought you meant now.
no, he can't hear me now. Don't worry.
How many fucking prolapse jokes was there in that race? I feel like Nikki was just...
Not many.
trying to throw as many
No,
as
not many. It was very serious, I'll have you know.
Nikki, I'm surprised you haven't given me a word.
I did give you a word. You've not looked in the thing, have you?
Am I not? What?
Right, are we all in? 18 out of 18. Yes, Maz is now sat in the Cadillac.
Hey, that was the car I was going to choose. I should have chose that.
It's a shame you're not in a party with your dad.
Have you found the word now, Dan?
I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Don't forget, we're live when we're on track.
Hullabaloo.
Hey, at least we went faster than Valeside, Andy.
Really? What time did he do around here?
41.9.
Jeez. Yeah, but to be fair, like, I don't know what I was going to say. I was about to say something bad.
Right, we'll get a knife now, mate.
Yeah, we'll be live in a minute.
No, it wasn't like that. Okay, no.
No.
You're better off saving yourself, Andy, and not saying it.
Yeah.
As long as you weren't as good as me.
Love you, Laura.
Matt, I swear to God.
Love you too. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Simply Motorsport for the 4th round of the season. I'll tell you what, we're not far off halfway, are we? We're a quarter, a third, whatever it is, of the way through the season. I'll work that out after the evening's done. That is the McLaren's first win in the Pro Series and its 12th win overall here at Simply Motorsport. And let's not forget the drop scores tonight. Just to remind you again, the championships will be as they are, but they will change due to the drop score. So what you hear at the end of the night will not be as they are when the tables are released, hopefully at the weekend. But I'll quickly run through the championships. It is Dan now who leads the way 3 points ahead of Andy, with BT Target still sitting in third place, 22 behind. Disco, some 27 off the lead. Sutty P5, Fury's up to 6th ahead of Peaceful Explosion. Gary down to 8th. Monkey Boy is 9th. Mace Game is 10th with Xmark P11. Argent's up to 12th. Kelly's up to 13th ahead of Emo Guy, and Little Each stay ahead of D Biggs as well after that first race. Slingshot Motorsport though 22 points clear of Simplay Racing, of Shake and Bake Motorsport, in the constructors. Team Prolapse are third. Simplay Racing some 6 points behind them. Audio Sport Prolapse ahead of Sandbags Motorsport, Forever Forward Racing, and the 2-time Pro Constructors champions Leach Motorsport are bottom of the table. They have got some work to do in this second race. I've got Fury, Andy, and Unorthodox in the commentary box with me, and we'll start with Fury. And I bet you didn't expect a podium this early on in the season.
No, I wasn't. Obviously, knowing that the tracks aren't really Merc tracks, I was just trying to do the best that I could with what I have. Obviously, Merc's the only real car that I know how to run properly. I've obviously tested like the Cadillac and stuff, but didn't want to go into a car I didn't know for a season and then drop down.
Yeah, and how was the Merc out there tonight? Because you looked like you had good pace, matching the top 3 early on. It just seemed your pace seemed to drop off compared to theirs towards the end of the race. Did the Merc last the distance all right?
It was alright for, I would say, the first 7 laps.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting the dirty air from BT, the front tires kind of just let go a bit and ruined the front for the rest.
BT was third. What happened to him early on, and how did you get past?
So coming up to the third to last corner, he was coming up around the corner, and basically it looked like the rear just went light on him. There was no accelerator, nothing, just went round. Right. Luckily he kept it out of the wall.
Managed to keep it out your way as well, or was it a bit of a nervous moment for yourself?
Well, it was quite a squeeze to the wall without hopefully taking off my rear wing, but I managed to squeeze through the little gap, and it went all right.
Well, before you go, what can you do race 2?
I know rain's on the way, so just gotta try and keep it steady.
Well,
I just want to quickly say I wish Emo Guy a quick recovery, and I hope to see him again soon.
Yeah, indeed we all do. Cheers for that, buddy. We'll catch you in the next one. And best luck for race 2.
Cheers.
Say hi to your mum for me. As we go then to Andy. And Andy, that was a race 2. Another fantastic qualifying by yourself. You're extending that gap of now 21 pole positions here. You said last week you wish you could convert more. Again, that's another one that's pole but not converted.
Yeah, another one. So now it's like a 12 in favour of poles over wins, which is like definitely not what I want, but I'll take a P2 in that one. The pit stop wasn't good. I lost a bit of time to Dan. Dan obviously got the full-on cheap pit stop, the 0.8 or 0.7 second, whatever it is, whereas I was stuck with a measly 3.2 and came out about 3 seconds behind him. And then he had a slight pace advantage over me. I did also tap the wall coming through that tyre barrier on the right hand side, coming out of third to last corner. Yeah, a couple of times, and I was up to about 6% engine damage after lap 5. So that was also a little bit debilitating. I learned my lesson after that, kept it out of the barriers, but obviously the damage was done, and the pace really wasn't there. But managed to keep out of trouble after that, and brought it home for P2. So. Can't complain.
Your pace looked good as well, matching Dan most of that race. There was the odd time where it had drop a bit lower than Dan, but you was punching exchanging blows between the two of you. A tenth here, a couple of tenths there. Do you feel that that's kind of how this season's going to be between the pair of you? Exchanging fastest laps, exchanging a couple of tenths each lap?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be pound for pound. It's going to be jab for jab. It's going to be exciting, and obviously we're quite evenly matched in general. So and a bit of the consistency was probably my downfall last season. Silly mistakes here and there, but obviously I know the BMW quite well. But Dan has taken to that McLaren like a duck to water, and I don't think that there's any teething issues there.
I love that saying.
Whatsoever.
I absolutely love that saying.
Yeah, it's a good one. But I honestly feel like he has not got any problems at all getting used to that car. He knows it like the back of his hand already. So I've just got to make sure that I've got the pace on him. I'm just going to make sure that I'm able to challenge him, because he's not going to have any problems with driving that car by the looks of it. None whatsoever.
Indeed. Well, what can you do race 2, buddy? Rain around. What can you do in that BMW?
Just try and avoid the accidents. Hopefully there won't be too many. It's obviously it's you're more likely to get caught up in them if you're at the back. So I'll just try and pick my way through. It's a very, very packed out grid tonight. 15 cars on the track. So it's going to be that extra bit harder. But just looking at the timing board, I'm P11, so it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, P11. You will go up to P10 when Master retires. He's here just as an observer tonight for the stewarding. So you will go up to P10, or will classified as P10 on the grid. But yeah, no, we wish you the best of luck, Andy, in this second race. And I tell you what, you and Dan this season could be bigger than Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua whenever that happens. So we wish you the best of luck for the second race, bud.
Cheers, Matt. Well done, Dan and Fury.
Cheers, buddy. Then, as Dan, hang on a second. Nicky, is that rain falling?
It looks like a few spots coming out of the sky there, doesn't it?
Who's not got a qualifying lap in yet? X-Mart. Oh dear, he left it too late. And the rain has came... Probably not from Spain. It's a bit too far out, that one. But either way, we're going to go to Unorthodox. And Dan, that's a way to do it. We was only chatting the other day about you might have to do a Colin Turkington season and try and win the championship with no race wins, because this grid is even tighter. You've got one. That extends your gap over Jamie Brazier and the others in terms of overall race wins. Got to be happy with the way you did it, haven't you?
Yeah, I knew kind of first lap was kind of where I needed to get the job done. I didn't want to stay behind Andy too long, so I knew I had an advantage when I was on my own.
Yeah.
I started learning that the BMW had better traction in the final sector, seems to be better in traction than the McLaren. But nonetheless, it's going to be a close season between me and Andy. Even in the qualifying, we're still within 0.2 of one another.
Yeah.
From Red Bull Ring to here,
wow.
We're just within 0.2.
Sorry, Dan. That has got wet quick, and X-Mart straight into the wall there. That could be quite done with 2 minutes left. Like I said to Andy, Dan, it's punch for punch, it seems, this season, pound for pound, exchanging blows in lap times every lap. Do you feel that's the way this season's being set up already?
Hopefully that we can have this great racing. Obviously, Watkins here not the best circuit to really overtake on, so it was kind of follow the leader kind of situation. But hopefully circuits like Hockenheim and like Walton Park or stuff like that, where you can kind of go toe to toe with someone, we should be able to have some good battles. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm loving the McLaren. I'm really enjoying it. Biggs is first running it tonight, and he seems to be enjoying it as well. So we're looking forward to really trying out this new car. If I win the title, I win it. If I don't, I won't be disheartened, because this car is just still learning it every day.
Yeah. No, 100%. What can you do race 2, Dan? You start right at the back with Fury and Disco. You've got to clear the likes of Argent, BT and Andy to get ahead of your championship rival, if you will, at this moment. What can you do?
You know as well, Matt, that me and you have sat and watched previous seasons not long ago, and I know that this McLaren has won races in the wet, in the hands of Dean and DJ Phil. So I'm just hoping that the McLaren will be kind to me in the first half of the race, try and avoid the incidents, and try and take another win if it's on the cards. If not, score as many points as possible. So what me and Nicky's just taken from that, you're channeling your inner Dean Wasaki? Pretty much. Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Dan, and hope you have a good second race as well, and can avoid a bit of the carnage. Because Nicky, this has got wet very quickly. I was about to say something else there, but I won't. This has though got wet extremely fast. But the Ferraris seem to be sticking with it. Yeah. Now, remember back to Sugo, those who are live watching a couple of seasons ago, Sooty Apex, for the race 2 or race 1, can't remember, went second quickest, only messed up on the last corner on soft tyres in the Acura. If he's trying that in the McLaren, it's not working.
And I mean, Sugo that day was drenched. But this has only had a few spots of rain and it has got wet fast.
Yeah, that's American weather for you, I suppose. But yeah, that really got wet quick. It caught Exmar out big time.
Oh, massively. He got caught out in that and only went P6 for BT Targa. It's a P9 for him. He will start, and he'll start 10th. Argent gets a decent random grid qualifying as well with a P11. Biggs then 12th, Dan 13th, Fury 14th, Disco 15th place on the grid at the moment. Kelly's back into the pits. He's not going to improve. Gary likes greasy conditions in the Porsche, and we love to see Gary chuck it around. Currently on the front row, but once again, it's Peaceful Explosion setting the pace in the Ferrari. As good as Gary is in the wet, as good as Gary is in that Porsche, Peaceful in that Ferrari at the moment are gelling beautifully.
He's on the pace for this Ferrari. I'm looking forward to seeing Peaceful make a comeback in this race.
If he gets on the podium tonight, and we get an interview with him later, are you expecting a thank you for showing him the Ferrari? I would be, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. As he's in the pits and he is done, Little Leach as well is done in his position, as is Exmar in P6. So Little Leach, only 7th fastest out there for Exmar. It is 6th fastest for himself. Mays is only 5th. The top 4 separated by just under a second. Here comes Gary to cross line. In fact, that's Mays Gamer going pretty slow in P5 then. He will not improve there. Gary stays across the line in P2 at the minute. So can anybody catch him? Monkey Boy's the last man on a lap. Can he gain them 7/10? I don't think he's going to. Ooh. He's definitely not going to. Now, no, he didn't improve. So Sooty Apex will start 4th. Monkey Boy will start 3rd. Couldn't make it to Simplay Racing 1-2. Gary will start 2nd. But Peaceful Explosion then will be the man on pole position. And he's done what Dan couldn't do. And he's gave that Ferrari a pole position to its name. Gary, though, lines up P2 with Monkey Boy in 3rd place. We've then got Sooty Apex 4th with Mace Gamer 5th. Xmark down in 6th. Little Leach 7th. KLF 9th with BT Targa, the first of the non-qualifiers, with Andy 10th. Argent 11th, D-Biggs 12th, Unorthodox 13th, Fury 14th, Disco 15th. Nicky, who's your money on?
I'm hoping for Peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Now, I hope you haven't just jinxed him like Kelly used to.
Please don't say that.
There's a stat for you. That's the Ferrari's first pole position here at Simplay Motorsport. So Dan and Fury couldn't do it, but Peaceful has. It's 2 pole positions behind the Acura, which is on 3. Eh? The Acura's better than the Ferrari. Stats. Facts, they are.
Really? Wow.
The Ferrari's also not had a race win yet. The Acura's had one. Facts. The Acura's a better car. They are.
Good.
I will admit that if Laney and Ben Parker have a few mistakes, it's possibly a bit easier to win in Pro-Am in the Acura than what Peaceful will have in the Pro if Dan and Andy made mistakes, because there's a lot... The pool of drivers in the Pro is a lot quicker than those in the Pro-Am, and that's no disrespect to Pro-Am. That's why these boys are in the Pro and the Pro-Am boys are not. Jamie Brazier, it was race 1. Hey, Jamie, says Piano Evening. Says Jamie... Peaceful for the win. I think I have to go with you on this one, but I've got to give an honourable shout out to Gary, because I think Gary in wet conditions, I know he loves them, loves the greasy conditions in that Porsche. What's the Porsche like in the wet? You've drove it more than me.
I found Porsche was good. Kelly didn't enjoy it. What track was we on? Zhuhai when it rained. I felt completely stable all the way. We had the standing waters, so a lot of people aquaplaning, but I seemed to be able to fly through it. But I was playing the protection game on.
Kelly won that race, didn't he? If I remember right, they won at Zhuhai.
I was literally played his bumper.
Yeah.
So if anyone was going to crash, they was going to hit me first.
Brilliant. Well, let's hope for none of that this time round. Oh, excuse me, something on my tongue. Here. Let's hope for no crashes this time round. Let's hope that everybody gets away well and off the line well. As there's Kelly towards the back of the grid. We're to the front of Monkey Boy now. Where's Peaceful? The revs rise. They're holding him. They're holding him. The lights come on. There's 2, 3. Green and go here, and who gets the better getaway, the Ferrari or the Porsche? It's the Ferrari. No, it's the Porsche. Peaceful's to the grass. Someone in the background was to the wall, and Peaceful has dropped down so many positions here. He's already down in 7th place. Gary, though, leads into turn 1, and that's a great start for the Porsche in them tricky wet conditions. Monkey Boy up to 2nd with Maze 3rd. Monkey Boy Maze right on Monkey Boy's tail just in the background. Gary, though, has already stretched his legs and has got away well here. But so far in that background, look at Maze trying to look on Monkey as the daylight's trying to rise. That Mercedes going toe-to-toe with the Ferrari. Peaceful couldn't get it started. And Maze backs out of that one from Monkey Boy, and through they go. Little Leach is up to 4th, Sutty's 5th, Xmart 6th, Peaceful 7th, BT is 8th, Andy 9th, Dan's got himself up to 10th, good start for him from 13th on the grid. Biggs 11th, Argent's dropped a couple, and then it's Fury. KLF had a disastrous start, he's gone backwards, and Disco at the rear, and look at how wide these guys are, just to avoid them puddles maybe at the inside curb.
I'm hoping that Mark can get this set up right, because the setup is planted. So
oh, he's having a look on Sutty Apex here. Nearly Sutty sent one on Sutty himself. Sutty moves to the inside. Let's not forget he's had a ding-dong in race 1. And Xmart will be hoping to get past him relatively clean this time around. Is he going to look up the inside here? He is, you know. I tell you what, he's having a think about it. Sutty gives him the respect and the room, and job done, Xmart P5.
That was a brilliant move there. He played that well. He kept it calm.
Oh, Sutty's round.
He's dropped it, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a tricky place to be in. He reverses back. Best thing Sutty can do. D Biggs has lost out. He's dropped down to 14th. Sutty tries to get going but can't. Has to wait till Kelly's now gone past him. He's gone from 5th in the space of 2 corners down to 13th. D Biggs has gone backwards. Disco still 15th. We know the BM's not great in the wet, but Andy making it sing and dance at the moment up in 6th place. Dan's only up to 9th. Argent's up to 10th. Peaceful has gone backwards to 11th after a terrible opening lap, Nicky.
Yes, I think commentator's curse there, that one, isn't it?
Never, you'll learn this season,
Peaceful.
never root for Peaceful. Biggs in the pits 1 lap early and has got himself a 10-second penalty. That'll be why he's in a lap early. He's got rear wing damage, but has to pit again in this race. He's also now giving himself 10 seconds minimum time penalty. I tell you what though, Gary out front, 2.5 seconds that lead, and has gone out front at the minute. He is making it sing and dance so far up front.
He's on another planet. Has he got someone else in their driver's seat or something? But he's flying.
Loves the greasy conditions. You speak to Gary, loves it when it's a little bit greasy, a little bit wet. And he prefers, yeah, he really does. He prefers it though when the conditions are sort of drying out or just getting wetter. He doesn't prefer a fully wet track. He prefers it when it's just at that changeover point. That's when he can make it sing. Oh, who was that round? I think Monkey Boy. Yes, Monkey Boy has dropped it. He now goes behind his teammate down in P11. He goes. What a shame for Monkey Boy then. The Ferraris, he is. He's having a good time. Little Leach as well up to 3rd, and Andy Fury as well up to 4th and 5th at the moment. So them two going great guns. Where's Dan? He's 7th behind Xmart, and in between the Team Prolapse boys of Xmart and BT Target. Dan is now ahead of Xmart. Where's Xmart gone? He's lost out to BT as well. So Xmart must have made a mistake at the corner before, because he's lost 2 places.
Dan down now. BT's normally good in the wet. Xmart's normally good in the wet. I know Dan loves the wet conditions as well.
They all love it wet.
What is it like here? Is he going to enjoy it in this McLaren though? That's the thing. Yeah,
that is the thing, isn't it? He's used to it in the Porsche. Can he do it in the McLaren? Little Leach here is really a moving chicane at the moment, holding Andy and Fury up something rotten. You don't want to be battling too hard up this hill. And look at Fury having to get off the throttle, you hear there, as Andy glances the wall. Does that give Fury a sniff up the inside into the bus stop chicane? You're going to be brave to do it at the bus stop chicane normally. In the wet, you must be absolutely insane. Fury earlier on the brakes, and Andy can't get it stopped.
Oh no.
And loses the ground to Fury, loses the time to Fury.
And Dan is there.
Yeah.
Dan has him in sight.
Right on the back. Little Leach though, when Dan and Andy said in that interview at the break, it's hard to overtake round here, this just proves why, because Little Leach is being a moving chicane. What have I missed, says Nicky Davis? Just the start of race 2. But you know, you're fine.
Where's Gary?
Gap's come down a bit.
Yeah, Mays is starting to catch Gary up.
Gap come down quite a bit, to be fair. Some 1 second quicker on the last lap, Mays to Gary. Mays, we saw at Zhuhai, he came in, didn't he, at Zhuhai? Oh, it is really raining. Look at the puddles up there.
Yeah.
He was quick at Zhuhai in the rain when we came in for that filler race in Season 3. Is it when it dries out that Merc's going to start to drop off? We'll have to wait and see. He's not got his lights on us, Mays, so he needs to get them on sharpish, because it's not the conditions for it, really. Just for the other drivers. These two, though, are 7 seconds up the road from Fury, who's got past Little Leach.
Fury's made that way through.
Look at Dan.
Pull away from
Oh,
these?
Dan! Well, just onto the grass and wide, keeps it out the wall somehow there, but has lost so much time to Andy. BT Targa goes through, and he just got. I don't know if he got caught out by Andy and Little Leach or what, but that is a very uncharacteristic mistake. Welshie in the chat, what a move from Fury, set Andy up there, and my best work race victory has to be at Bathurst a good few seasons ago. That was a cracking race from you, Emo Guy, as well. But Dan there, making a rare mistake, Nicky.
Yeah, that was very unlike him. Did he get caught out there? He must have got caught out there.
Yeah.
But, like I said, is he unsettled in this McLaren in the wet?
Yeah, this is the test for him now. He likes it in the dry. What's he like in the wet? Is he still getting used to it in the wet? Peaceful, the first man in the pits while the pit window's open. Andy's down to 14th place. It has not been the night for Peaceful Explosion at all.
Oh, no. I feel so bad. I think I've jinxed him. I'm so sorry, Peaceful. I do apologise.
Hey, he's came back from worse than this. So we'll see what happens.
He did.
Gary to Mays, 1.7 seconds. They've got some 6.9 seconds back to Fury then in this one at the moment, who sits third. Andy's now cleared Little Leach, and Andy can hunt down Fury. Dan's now got to repass BT Targa and get back in front and get back ahead of Little Leach. Little Leach just seeming to not be on the pace here, although fighting with Andy, having a look at Andy, but the wrong side if you're trying to make an overtake into the right-hander as they go uphill now, and Andy just starting to tiptoe away a little bit.
Yeah, Little Leach is doing well though in that Porsche. That Porsche does seem a lot more settled. As I say that, he got a bit of a slide, but it does seem a lot more settled than all the other cars.
It does. Mays Gamer at the minute, the only guy lapping under a 1 minute 50. Gary, oh no, he was. He didn't that last time. He was only 3/10 quicker than Gary, but it is still chipping away at Gary 131's lap time here. Peaceful, still in the pits. He's a lap down. He's coming out the pit lane now. And let's not forget, back markers don't have to move out the way, but this is a very tricky pit exit. He's coming into the field. In fact, he's coming to the gap of Fury and Andy, which is a couple of seconds. That's probably the best gap he could have come into, because behind Andy is Little Leach, behind Little Leach is BT, behind BT is Dan. No, they're the other way around. Oh,
Dan's
Mike had the softs on.
Oh no.
That is why Peaceful has struggles. He's had the soft tyre on.
See, he didn't change before the race.
Mike, and now he's letting guys through before the bus stop. He's left the soft tyre on. When it rains, it pours. And it is pouring all over Peaceful Explosion's night tonight. And he's a lap down to even Argent there. I think that's who's just lapped him. I think he's now down to Sutton. Is he still on the softs? Did they not change tyre? Because, I mean, he seems like he's tiptoeing.
He's struggling big time, and he's trying to get a grip. It looks like as soon as he puts the power down, he just wants to go.
Yeah. Well, the question is...
Stick with it, Mike.
Yeah, he points still in the bag here. Others have got to pit.
Gary.
Mays, by some margin, Gary's had a mistake.
He must have had a mistake.
Yeah, Fury. Fury a bit wide at the corner there. Dan's now behind Little Leach. Gary's made a mistake somewhere, so he'll be disappointed with that.
And Mays has just pulled away.
He's gone. Not put a foot wrong, though, at the minute, has he, Mays Gamer? Can he get his first pro win?
That would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it really would.
I do like Mays.
Missed out on the championship last year, unfortunately, but if he was to get pole, and if he was to get a race win, then yeah, that'd be fantastic for him. But KLF, how's he doing? Down in 13th, obviously made his 50th race the race before. Down in 13th, though, at the minute.
I think he was the one who got caught out at the start. I think he
dropped back a bit.
It looked to me like he maybe got a bit of a slapper into the wall from the start. I don't know. I don't know if he got clipped. We'll find out, I suppose. But
Yeah, we'll speak to him a
Disco.
little later on, no doubt. Disco's P12. He's kind of slowly progressed through the field. He started 15th and has kind of passed 2 cars that's been in the pits and then got past Kelly and hasn't seemed to make any more progression from there. His car looks fine. Doesn't look damaged.
I'm quite shocked with Disco's pace, to be honest, because they've been in the BMW for, what, a couple of seasons?
He's on the wheel though now, Nicky. So learning the wheel...
yeah, this is a total different step.
Oh, he's clipped the wall there. Yeah, and learning the wheel in the wet. Peaceful's back in the pits. Oh, it's gone horribly wrong for him today.
Have they got wet tyres out? Has he got the wet tyres on? Did he get the wet tyres on?
I hope so, because Peaceful... He's been so unlucky in the past, whether he's been caught up in incidents or lost it on his own, and you think a change of car, a change of fortunes... Fine last week, but it hasn't happened tonight. Crying emojis in the chat. He looks a lot quicker out the pit lane this time around. Yeah, he's put his foot down there. He's away now. The rain, how long is it going to be around for? That's the big question. Will it dry up? Will it stop raining? Gary, though, has Mays made a mistake? Because the rest of the pack have closed up to him.
Doesn't look like it. Unless he's just spun and...
157. Gary back down into the 152. So I wonder if he's had a little moment somewhere.
I think... The thing is with Mays, maybe he's running a lower car.
Yeah.
If in the wet, you catch him curbs and it just...
You're done, ain't it? As Gary takes all 2 wheels over the curbs there and proves me and Nicky wrong and, just... Cheers, Gary. Yeah. Makes us look like fool. We're pro-am, so we don't really know what we're doing compared to these pro lads. But hey ho, yeah. But on we go. Fury really getting onto the back of Gary now. He's really starting to hassle that Porsche. Who took a wider line, different line through that, and that is Andy, who's messed up the bus stop once again. And does that allow Dan to get past? No, the gap stays about the same. I reckon he's lost time to Fury there. I reckon he's gave some time back because Dan is just as close as what he was going into it. But Dan, pressure in the back of this BM.
Dan seems to have just woke up a bit now.
Yeah. It seems to have given him a couple of laps and now he's switched on to what this McLaren does in these wet conditions.
Yeah, Andy seems to be struggling with that car at the moment.
I've said, Nicky, the BMW is great in the dry. The minute it rains, it's a bit of a handful.
Rain looks like it's stopping as well.
It does, so slowing down at least. That up front, though, is that Fury attacking Gary just at this corner up front. He's definitely close enough to have a look. And look how close he's getting under the brakes. I can't believe how well these Mercedes are doing in this race. Argent's 9th. Last week, the Mercedes struggled to get top 10. This week, they're 1st and 3rd, and Fury's already got a podium tonight. So the Mercedes looking like they're going great guns around Watkins Glen here.
Yeah, the Mercedes seem to be loving this wet conditions. I mean, Fury's just out on his own now. He's starting to pull away again. But come on, Fury.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get on. I'd love to see him get another podium at least.
He's actually catching on Jamie Brazier for race wins. So if he was to get a race win, he's only 3 behind Jamie. Gary's only 5 behind Jamie. And they're the only 4 drivers, Jamie, Dan, Fury and Gary, who's got 10 race wins apiece. X-Mart's into the pits at the end of lap 7. So only him and Peaceful have made their pit stops at the moment. Everybody else still to pit. And you've got to pit within that window. So if it doesn't stop raining, you've got to pit. Although I'm surprised it's not stopped raining. And if I come on a criticism for it, it is set to have stopped raining a quarter of the way into this race. We're halfway into this race. It's still raining.
It seems to just get on board because that seemed to starting to come down again.
Yeah. And that's what I don't get. So if drivers are kind of like, well, there's only meant to be one slot of rain, that's what it was set up as. And, it's still raining halfway into this race. Nonetheless, it's giving us an entertaining race here, and it's giving us a fascinating race. And Andy still ahead of Dan. Gary still ahead of Fury. Little Eat still P6 ahead of BT Targa. BT Targa a couple of seconds off the back of him. Argent's up in P8 again. Good night for Argent tonight. Good night of points.
Yeah, Argent seems to be doing well, and I think what they've done is they've done a good choice. Argent and Fury, they've stuck with the same car and stuck with what they know, and I think that's the best choice to do. Whereas others, like myself and Kelly, keep switching cars. And
do you think Kelly maybe should have gone back to the Porsche for the Pro? Bit quicker than the McLaren. Kelly knows the Porsche more than the McLaren, bit more pacey for the Pro Series.
For the Pro, yeah, I don't know. The thing is with Kelly, like I say, I raced with Kelly, and he was better suited in the Porsche. But
yeah,
I'm going to say this: we both loved the Renault.
No, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
And earlier, I jumped in and done a couple of laps in the Renault, and
did you miss it?
Oh yeah, it felt so good. And I didn't have a set. I was just, I'll just go with this setup, and it felt really.
Yeah,
I was
loving it.
144s in the Renault, and I was like, wow, I should have stuck with this. But
Disco then into the pits, end of lap 8, and Jamie Brazier in the chat. I hear my name. That you do, buddy. Obviously, second now pole positions to Andy, and still second in terms of race wins to Dan. And Dan and Andy sit 4th and 5th. There is Andy. Dan's just dropped off the back of Andy a little bit, so has he made a mistake this lap? Fury just been gapped a little by Gary. The gap has been closer between the two of them. Maze Gamer, though, here.
Andy seems to have found something, and he's starting to gain on Fury.
Yeah, he really has, hasn't he? Maze as well. Just, lap time starting to come down between Maze and Gary. 2/10 last lap. And to Fury. Andy's now in the 1 minute 50s.
It's the same again. The only thing that can happen now with Fury is a mistake on himself.
Yeah.
But that rain is still falling.
Yeah, and if people are going to ask questions why later, I don't know, because it wasn't set up like that, let me tell you.
I'm not to blame, guys. Nothing to do with me. It's all Matt. Yeah,
it's all me, but it was meant to dry. D-Biggs has got ahead of Disco, but D-Biggs does have to pit again. It's lap 10, and guys still haven't pitted yet. And don't forget, teammates cannot pit on the same lap. Dan, though, into the pits for his pit stop at the end of lap 9, sorry. We've just started lap 10. Little Leach has done his pit stop at the end of lap 9. So they've got a couple of laps to go before they have to... They've got 2 more laps to go before they have to pit. Sutty and Kelly, one of them, need to get in sharpish. Biggs is fine. Gary's now fine. Andy's fine. Fury's fine because obviously Emo Guy's not here. BT Targa's fine. Argent and Maze, one of them two need to pit sharpish as well, as Peaceful and Monkey Boy are fine as well. So it's only really Argent and Maze Gamer and Kelly and Sutty that one of them need to get in sharpish. In fact, Sutty's in.
So Fury that as well.
Fury's fine because his teammate's not here because obviously Emo Guy's not here tonight.
Yeah.
And Monkey Boy's in. But it's Argent and Maze within the... Oh, we've had a retirement. Who was that? Disco has retired from this race.
Oh, why?
So that'll be no points and a second retirement for Disco McDisco Face. Is he in the pits retired? I believe he is. So let's see. Oh, who's that? Is that Dan? No, it's Biggs. Biggs has dropped it. Biggs coming into the pits on the end of lap 9. So he's coming in for his stop. And Disco, is he in the pit lane? We'll just see this. I think that's... Go on to D Biggs a second. Because he's coming through now. That's Biggs. That's Disco. They're retired. So Disco has retired, and that's his second retirement of the season. And one more retirement for him will mean that he loses 25 championship points already. Biggs had a long old stop there. Was it? Oh, no, that was a good stop. It's Monkey Boy who's been in for a while, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a long old stop for Monkey Boy. Not the night for the Ferraris. Fury, though, is in, as is Andy. So lap 10. Andy's in. Fury's in.
Who's going to get the better stop out of these two?
The silly thing is Argent or Maze Gamer need to pit this lap. Wow, what a stop!
Oh, Andy's going to get a jump on Fury in the pits.
I mean, that was a good stop from Fury, but Andy there... That was fantastic.
That was the stop.
Argent needs to pit this lap, otherwise him and Maze Gamer, it's all gone to pot. He's in. I still don't get why it's raining.
No.
I still don't get this. This is... Yeah, not sure. But BT Targa still in the pits. Argent comes in now. Where is Little Leach? BT Targa goes. So Kelly still to pit. Gary, still to pit. Maze Gamer, still to pit. They're the only 3 left to pit. They've got to pit at the end of this lap. Kelly's 11th place. Hasn't pitted yet. Disco, like we said, 1 more retirement from him, and that's 25 points deducted. We're trying to encourage drivers to get to the end of every race. You know,
Unless you're on your roof,
unless there's a
I've got to sort of reset button out.
You have. That's a legitimate reason. That's a legitimate reason. But yeah, we'll have to see what Disco says. Obviously, when the stewards ask.
I had all the other guys moaning in Pro Labs. I was like, "Why haven't you got a reset button?" I'm like, "Because I don't feel you should have one. I don't feel that should have happened."
Do you know what? I don't have a reset button either. So then,
see, that's it. We're hardcore. We're pro.
We are hardcore. Kelly's pitted.
Ooh,
Maze just gets into the pits. Whew.
Where's Gary?
Gary's got a pit, so Gary comes in now as well. Right.
Now. Yeah.
Andy. Where's Andy? Because he's jumped Fury. He's pulled a gap to Dan of 4 seconds. Andy has had a hell of a pit stop. Keep your eyes. Disco's messaged me. I had pit stop issues and wheel issues. Right, so I'll read your message after the race, Disco, and we'll go from there.
Andy's coming around last turn. Oh,
yeah.
Gary's coming out. Maze is still there.
Is Gary coming out? No, he's missed his pit box.
No.
Gary's missed his pit box. Oh,
So
Gary.
Andy's going to go.
Andy leads. No, he doesn't. Maze is out. So Maze is out the pits. Andy, though, is close to Maze Gamer. Gary
Gary
has missed his pit box. He's away now. He's been jumped by Fury. Andy, Dan, BT Targa might get the jump on him. Oh, what could have been a podium for Gary 131 is going to be at least a 6th place. He's out the pit, off the pit limiter now. But Gary has got some work to do with the remainder of this race. I can't believe it's still raining, by the way. This is absolutely crazy. Oh,
He's
Gary.
still falling down.
Gary, what have you just done?
That was unlucky.
A game on then between Andy and Fury for that 2nd and 3rd place. Maybe the race win. 22 people watching, 18 likes. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Matt, I've sent you an email. I'll check that, Jamie, after the night. And here comes Maze Gamer. Up the hill. 3.5 ahead of Andy. Fury has just made a mistake, maybe. He's dropped back from Andy a little bit. Or has Andy just started to gap him? Oh, Maze just looks...
he looks a bit scatty. He's pushing a bit too hard.
Yeah.
He just needs to calm down a little bit. He's got that gap, and I think he can hold it.
4 and a bit laps from the end of this race. Gary's down in P6, but can he gain on BT Targa? Can he gain on it? Can X-Mart find any time to Little Each? Can Argent gain on X-Mart, who's down in 9th? Biggs is 11th with a 10-second penalty. He'll finish there because he's ahead of Monkey Boy, KLF, and Peaceful.
Where is X-Mart?
Camera pick him up. There he is. He's got some 2.5 to Argent, 9.1 to Little Each. So he's got time here. Dan's another one. 4th place, 7 off the lead, but a couple off the back of Fury and Andy. Can he get that time down to get back? Because a car between Dan and Andy could mean the difference at the end of the season, let's not forget.
Well, that's it, yeah. Dan's just got the...
Sorry, no, Jamie's just said something in the chat. I haven't actually, but it's just a Toto reference. I get it now.
What's that? No,
Matt, I've sent you an email, obviously to do with the Silverstone incident with Michael Massett. No, Mikey, no.
Yeah, no, Mikey.
You can't do this. Oh, who's that round in the background? Is that Monkey Boy who's had another off? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Oh, wow, these Ferraris don't seem great in the wet, do they?
They seemed like... Oh, that was...
Oh, damn!
Oh, that was close.
That was squeaky bum time.
That was.
Andy's got the gap down under 3 seconds here, and that time is still falling down. It's just slowly going back up again now. Did Maze Gamer just have a little wiggle or a little moment somewhere?
He keeps getting a bit on that grass.
Oh, look at him.
He's struggling through the brakes.
I've noticed that with Maze at times. He does seem to get a bit slidey and squirrely under the brakes. And
is that track drying up? The rain seems to...
The rain's really slowed, hasn't it? The rain hasn't stopped, which I have to apologise to these pro drivers. It was set to stop a quarter of the way through this race. So I have to apologise to these pro drivers for that, because it hasn't.
But they're pro drivers. They should be able to drive through it.
Yeah. You know, there are drivers and then there are screwdrivers, as Kelly likes to say to us. And over the hill they come to start lap 14 of 16. Fury cracking, still trying to chase Andy down. They're both still trying to chase Mays. Dan needs a new pair of pants because Monkey Boy just scared him a little bit on that last lap. And Dan might need them changing. BT Target kind of on his own. He's got Gary a couple of seconds behind him. Oh, Fury. What are you doing up there? That's the wall.
Yeah.
Do not touch them curbs.
That's what we call, as Ben Parky says, curbs are lava.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Where any other battles on the track? Not really at the moment. Gary's trying to get within a second of BT. Little Leach having a better race, P7.
Yeah, Little Leach is old now, all right, isn't he? He's doing quite well. He's matching pace with Gary as well.
Yeah, so if Little Leach could do a rain dance more often, that might help him in his quest this season. There's Gary on the back of BT. And who's that in front of BT Targa? Oh, BT's wide.
Oh, BT was wide.
Is that BT? No, that's not BT. Who's that with them? That Biggs? I think that's Biggs. With them. A lap down. It is Biggs with... No, Biggs is on his own. So it's one of the other McLarens. Sutty? It's Kelly. Kelly was with them. Kelly was wide and ran wide and allowed them to get allowed their leaders to lap.
Kelly does not seem to be enjoying that McLaren, does he?
No, and this is, again, like we said about Dan learning the McLaren in the wet, as is Kelly. And it's a different ball game, isn't it? It seems he's got about 31 seconds to Peaceful with 3 laps to go. Can he hold on? He's a lap down as well, so we'll finish on lap 15, as
Gary's
Peaceful will.
Catching BT.
Yeah, like... Oh, I don't know what.
Andy is catching Mays.
Yeah, gaps down to under 2 seconds. 8/10 quicker on the last lap. Andy to Mays gamer there. Fury is kind of going with Andy as well. He's not too far back. And all it's going to take here for Mays is one little mistake. And even Dan could be through. 6.2 off the back. The front 4 lapping in the 51s. Dan and Andy nearly in the 1 minute 50s. Their pace is phenomenal in the wet at the minute. Kelly's struggling bad here.
Dan's lap time, he's nearly in the 150s there. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, that is phenomenal pace. And he's up on his delta, which means he could be into the 150s. This is phenomenal pace from Dan we're seeing here, and Andy as well, who's bringing that gap closer to Mays with 2 laps to go. And the more Mays sees that big, bright yellow BMW getting bigger in his rearview mirror, the more he might just start to panic. We've seen him a bit squirrely on the brakes, and can Mays now hold his nerve? Gary still behind BT Target. That's a battle as well, half a second.
Close, yeah.
Really... McLaren Porsche. Gary, you've said BT likes the wet. You know BT better than I do. I think I know Gary a bit better than you as well. You say BT likes the wet. I know Gary likes the wet.
Yeah.
So these
BT's
two...
he's planted all the time. He keeps that car in the right positions. He's not going to make it easy for Gary to get past.
Sounds very evenly matched, this does, then, doesn't it? Quite a lot between these two. So this is going to be interesting to see these two. Gary, that's the grass, bud. That's not the best line through there for the traction of the car. Andy's got the gap down to 1.5 seconds as they come up to the final corner on this lap then. We know Gary's a little closer, but this, onto the final lap for the race lead. Mays has got to be as clean as you like. Fury's just clipped the wall. That's going to lose him 1/10 or 2 coming down the start straight. Mays has got to be as clean as you like coming into turn 1 now. Fury, well, I think he's going to get a lot of people's driver of the day because he's certainly going to get my vote.
Yes, definitely. I was going to say I'm voting for Fury for driver of the day.
Outstanding drive from him tonight.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Gap down to 1 second.
2 podiums, yeah.
And he's now got the gap under 1 second. He's got a bit of a chance here. And Mace Gamer, how is your nerve? How's your bottle in these final couple of laps? Because Andy is breathing down your neck. Into the bus stop chicane. Andy, lap it. Fury, a 151 dead. Dan's in the 1 minute 50.7s. Mays and Andy just clipping that outside grass. I tell you what, that was a risk. And it paid off for the both of them. The rain looks like it's all but stopped on the final lap of this race here. And Fury is with Andy and with Mays. And they're all coming together as we head towards the final sector of this track. On the final lap. This is straight for the lead. Andy's bottled it. And he's absolutely bottled it to the end. He's going to hang on for what looks to be a third. But it's not over yet. Dan's in the background. Fury has a chance of a win.
Oh, come on, Fury.
Maze Gamer leads this race at this moment in time. But Fury, a third, and now running second place. 3 corners left.
Could, if...
Maze. He's got to have the world's widest Mercedes, but he's got to... I'd be braking a bit earlier than what Maze is doing. He's a bit slidey into the corners, and all it takes is one slide too many, and you run your luck. 1 corner to go, though, and it looks like it's going to be Maze Gamer. I think it is now. Fury clips the wall on exit. No, he doesn't, but it is going to be Maze Gamer who takes a race win in the Pro. Fury's going to come across for second place. Andy at the end just pushed maybe a little too hard, but a third place nonetheless. Unorthodox will come home for P4. BT Targa, Little Leach has got past Gary. So what has happened to Gary at the end? But BT Targa's going to come across for a great P5 there. What a job for him tonight, a 4th and a 5th. What an epic battle at the very end. Little Leach then, P6. Gary's dropped it to P7. That looks like it's... Sorry, go on.
I feel sorry for Gary and Peaceful. Gary
yeah.
Such good...
Gary! Gary!
No.
In the wall! No, he's a bit too far back, that is, I reckon, for X-Mart.
Go on, Gary. Porsche can go as fast as it can forwards as backwards.
D-Biggs has crossed the line, P11. Gary's quickest route to the line there was in reverse. It looks like X-Mart's going to take a P8 then after Gary takes a P7. Argent's had a solid night of points here, a 5th and a 9th. I'm sure he'll take that. Solid night's worth of points there for Kieran Argent. D-Biggs got 10th. Sooty Apex... D-Biggs hasn't got 10th because Sooty Apex is right up his rear. Doesn't need to pass him. So that's going to give D-Biggs 11th because Sooty is going to gain on him on the penalties. So Sooty's going to get 10th place. Monkey Boy a lap down, as was KLF and Peaceful Explosion. But what a race to the end there, Nicky.
Yeah, what a race for this guy, though, Fury. Well done. Definitely.
Do you want to send Maze an invite into the party, Nicky, while we go through fastest lap? Which was Maze with a 49.7, so took the fastest lap there as well. Peaceful, obviously the point for pole for him in what was a pretty terrible night. All in all for Peaceful Explosion. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that was a bit of a bad one. Get Maze into the party though, Nicky, and can you save race 2 replay for me? Well, I just organised the points. I've not got the room to save it says. But what a night. Fury so far driver of the day. Get your votes in while we do the interviews. We'll take a quick look at them at the very end. And the Drivers' Championship is like this. Andy, 1 point behind Dan. And it's that close. It's as close as 1 point at the minute in this championship battle between these two. You then go 24 points back to BT Targa, who sits in P3. Fury's gone up to 4th place with Maze Gamer jumping up to P5 in this one. Disco drops down to P6 with Gary, with Sooty 7th. Gary 8th ahead of Peaceful in 9th, who's had a terrible round. Monkey Boy P10, X-Mart 11th. Argent P12, Little Leach 13th, D-Biggs 14th, KLF 15th, and Emo Guy down in 16th in the Constructors' Championship. Slingshot Motorsport 19 points clear of Shake and Bake, while Team Prolapse are ahead of... can you guys hear me? Yeah, sweet. That's all right. I didn't know if I was talking to myself there. Shake and Bake 2nd. Team Prolapse are 3rd. Forever Forward 4th. Simplay Racing 5th. Sandbags Motorsport 6th. Fleets Motorsport 7th. Audio Prolapse in 8th. We've got Andy in. Have we got Fury? Fury's just got in. Have we sent Maze an invite, Nicky?
I have sent Maze an invite.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Right, we'll start then with Andy. Push a little too hard at the end there.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going for it. I shouldn't have really got too impatient. I was being greedy there. I could have just taken the P2 and taken some good points, but yeah, just got impatient. I wanted to get that win so badly. I was chasing Maze down in those last few laps, and he was just hanging on. I see him there, taking, and the temptation just got me, and yeah, hit the wall, lost out to Fury.
Yeah, lost out to Fury. Great drive though from yourself through the back of the field. I have to apologise to the top 3 and everybody else who's watching. It wasn't meant to rain for the full race. It was only set to a quarter. I don't know what's gone off there, but you had a great start though. You came through the field nicely.
Yeah, I got quite lucky in the first few laps. There was a bit of an incident through the penultimate corner. A few cars came together. First lap, I just sort of managed to sneak through that, hugged the curb on the inside, and somehow managed to avoid the carnage. And then from there, just kept pushing and pushing, and I could just see the gap was coming down to Mays at points, little bits at a time, over the course of the race. I mean, his fastest lap of 49.7. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But on the whole, that gap was coming down gradually over the race, and I managed to get ahead of Fury in the pit stops. Got a very quick pit stop, 0.8 of a second. Literally, was in and out in no time, and I just unfortunately couldn't make the most of the opportunity at the end, which is gutting. But I'll take P3. I'll take a P2 and a P3 here.
Yeah, good result for yourself. Good result for the team as well tonight. Going into next week, Hockenheim. What can you do there?
Hockenheim's a decent circuit for me in a car that's competitive. The last time we raced at Hockenheim was in the Ginetta. So
Yes.
I think BMW. I think. I don't know. I know the Dan was really quick at Hockenheim last time, but I reckon in the BMW I'll be able to take the fight to him. So reasonably confident. We'll have to see.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see you out there, Andy, next week. Well done tonight, and best of luck next week, buddy.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. We got Fury in as well, and Fury, mine and Nicky's vote for driver of the day. Just looking in the chat, Welshie's gave it you. DJ Phil gave it the way of Andy. PN Motorsport gave you driver of the day as well. So did your granddad. I think your mum has as well. Your mum gave me and Nicky joint commentator of the night. That's nice. Yeah, Fury, second place, third place tonight. We said in race one that I bet you didn't expect to be on the podium. You were so close to a race win there at the end.
I'm actually surprised that the Merc done a lot better in the wet than it did the dry, considering the fact that it was just kind of drifting through the bus stop. And the majority of the corners, it was just like I was ice skating.
But that was a night for you where you've really sort of. Last week, you can put that to bed now. That was, start of the season, cold temperatures and what have you. Tonight was a real statement from you in that Mercedes once again.
Yeah, I think everyone knows that it's like if you race the Merc at Red Bull Ring, it's not the track for it at all. Especially like the middle sector. It's more of like the BMW, more balanced cars, not for the Merc.
Going into Hockenheim next week. Oh, sorry, Nicky, go on.
I was going to say, this just seemed that Mercedes seemed planted more in the wet than it did in the dry for both you and Mays. Just unbelievable.
I was running, I believe, 12 downforce.
Right.
And I was going to be running
I was running 5 downforce.
Okay. Well, going into Hockenheim next week, Fury, what can you do there?
Hopefully not do what happened at Hockenheim in the Pro-Am where I had the dry downforce on and spin.
Yes. Right. Well, there we go then. We'll have to see what the weather does for next week. Evening to Laura. Hope you're well. Thanks, Fury, for that one. We'll see you next week, and congratulations on the driver of the day tonight.
Yeah, well done, Fury. I've got to say, well done to all three of them, really. I've got to say a big shout, though. Mays and Fury.
Yeah.
Drivers.
And speaking of Pro Laps drivers, Mays, first season in the Pro. Last week didn't go the way you wanted it to, but tonight's race 2.
Yeah, it was exactly the way I wanted it to go.
That was fantastic drive from you.
Thanks.
How was that Merc in the wet compared to the dry?
I think for normal people it's not good, but for me I like to slide. Like, I think a lot of guys here know I'm a slide guy. I like to slide every time. And yeah, and it was the perfect condition for fast drifting.
It was.
So I just went for it.
It seemed quite heavy on the braking with you.
Yeah, it's because I don't have. I was running, like I said, 5 rear downforce. First, I want to say a big shout out to Argent for the setup.
Oh, there we go then.
Wow.
How was that? How was the Merc this week compared to last week as well? Fury said that it didn't seem to suit Red Bull Ring. But all the Mercs, should I say, seemed to be a lot better tonight.
Yeah, I think we were better tonight because we expected to be the car to be super undrivable, but at the end of the day, it was normal.
Yeah.
I think that's why I think in Red Bull Ring we expected it to behave normally, but we had some surprises.
Going into Hockenheim next week, what can you do there?
I think I love Hockenheim. It's a good track. It's a bit tricky with the Merc because there is a lot of heavy braking.
Yeah.
I think the best car will be the Porsche. And
Well, I think we've lost him there. I think we've lost Maze. He's back.
I think I'm excited to see what can Unorthodox do with the Porsche because we want another Prolapse win, and I'm very happy because it's a Prolapse 1 too.
Indeed. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there next week, buddy. Well done to yourself, Fury, and Andy, and everybody else who turned up tonight and gave it their all. Nicky, last thoughts from yourself?
Brilliant race. Unfortunate for Peaceful and Gary. They drove brilliant tonight, but just got caught out in the rain. Unfortunate with the tyres thing, and Gary with a pit stop.
Yeah, indeed. And I have to apologise to all the drivers out there. The rain was set for just 1/4 of the race, and it rained the entire time. So I do apologise for that. Hopefully that won't glitch again and do that all the way through. But thanks for you all tuning in tonight. Thanks for all your comments in there as well. Make sure you join us on Saturday. Remember, there's no Formula 1 this week, so I can't go out there and try and win at Imola and make it 3 in a row. I've got to sit here for 6 hours and chat to you lovely guys and girls in the comment section who's going to be watching these crazy fools in the 6 hours of Silverstone, LMP2 and GTE multi-class for our World Endurance Championship. What a night that is going. What an afternoon that's going to be. Nicky, you're taking part in it. You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's going to be good because I think it's pretty much Team Prolapse in the LMP2s, isn't it?
Barwell-Shee and Keegs team and Rabbit Joe, yeah, pretty much Team Prolapse in LMP2. It's going to be very fascinating. It's going to be exciting to see the World Endurance and some more endurance racing coming to you this season as well. Obviously, one endurance race a month and the finale at the Le Mans 24-hour. But that's all we've got time for tonight. You take care. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Saturday at midday for the World Endurance live from the home of motorsport at Silverstone. But from all of us here at Simply Motorsport, take care. Good night.
See you later.
We're out. I just want to check something here. I'm telling you now. Look at that. The weather's set. Wet to dry, look. That says wet to dry on my screen.
It said wet to dry in the free lobby as well.
I think just the weather wanted the Prolapse win.
Man, you drove wicked, man.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Unbelievable to catch up, though.
I was just
See you later, mate. See you
pushing like crazy again.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no, well done, boys. Well done. Right, I'm going to hop off for a little bit. I shall catch you guys in a bit.
Catch you all later. Well done, guys. Well done.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Thanks, mate.
See you.
See you.